Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
You are now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kamar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. My name is Matt Floyd, joined as always by Kamar
Welcome to the party.
and Simon.
Good evening.
What we do here is very simple. The three of us have listened to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience this week. We're going to rate each episode as well as the week on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernons. We're then going to talk about each guest, the talking points, give our opinions, this, that, and the next. But first, Kamar, you have any new patrons to go over? No.
What's that?
Huh?
There's
Huh?
no new patrons this week, but leave a comment for the algorithm, smash that like button, leave a review, and share it with a friend.
Don't leave a review.
Thank you to
We're about to get blasted with 1-star reviews.
all the Patreons. Oh yeah, well no, but like mine's.
Yeah, like minds. Shitty minds think alike, and they all go 1 star. Let's do it.
Thank you to all the Patreons.
Yes, thank you to the patrons. Indeed. You want to go over the guest list so we can do the fucking stupid thing we do here?
2021, Jonathan Haidt. I'm saying it wrong, aren't I?
No, I think it's hate.
21-22, Protect Our Parks 11.
Boo.
21-23, Gary Clark Jr.
Boo.
Okay, that's a
21-24, Dave Attell and Ian Finance.
can't boo a Jew, can you?
That one wasn't,
That hell just happened there?
that one wasn't boo worthy.
Kicked in.
The firewall's up. All right, well, let's rate it. I mean, full disclosure, I didn't see the Saturday drop, so I didn't listen to Dave Attell, so I'm rating 3 episodes. I'm just going to be real with everyone. And I mean, based on those 3 episodes, like, I don't know. I'll be generous and give it a 3.
I'll give it a 3.
I'll give it a 2.32.
That makes sense. All right, let's start this bad boy off.
2021, Jonathan Haidt.
Well, right off the bat, this guy said something that I thought was very interesting, and it felt like it hit home for me. He was like, a lot of people that don't have kids, that are older, have sort of an attitude of like, well, I grew up with television, and it didn't really fuck us up. So what's the kids will be okay. And I have that attitude. Like, I'm like, I think the kids will be fine. And he's like, I'm telling you, they won't. So again, you have a kid. You don't, and you're worried about all of them.
No, I'm not worried about all of them. We know that suspect. Some of them can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, the idea is TV. If your kids watch TV, they'll be all fucked up. And we're like, we watch TV and we're fine.
Well, we just heard that as growing up. It was, yes, if you watch television too much, you're going to end up being a murderer or a piece of shit or whatever. You're going to be, all these things. And like, by and large, we all grew up with the same television, and most of us ended up all right.
But for the most part, in the formative years, and I think that's what's important, he was saying it's usually social, and it was. I'd always watch all the sitcoms with my mom.
Yeah.
And everyone and chide it. And
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing. Like, people love commercials.
Who?
People, you see that commercial, the people sing it. Like, probably older than us in general. But certain commercials are just...
Yeah, but you don't want commercials. It's just
No,
because
but- no, but-
everybody was forced
No, but
to watch
they will
commercials.
tell you they love that commercial like someone would tell you they love a song. Like, it's a certain type of person who loves TV. I swear. I never had cable as a kid.
I
And
know.
so I
Listen,
watched,
you
like,
pay
three
money to not see
3
commercials.
channels or whatever. Yeah, I had, like, it was so limited to me that, and even then I loved it. The sitcoms were on in the afternoon, and then the news was boring.
I know you won't believe this, but I didn't have cable growing up.
I believe you, but if I had my ways when I was a kid, I would just want to stare and watch whatever was on that TV from my whole childhood because I didn't know what else to do. And now that you have these things that are so interactive, maybe Well, this is interesting because last week we were talking about regulation or stuff.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't think the government could do it, but he wants no phones in schools and no social media till 16.
I mean, I get what he's saying. I don't like Kamar when we were having those regulation talks. Things have to be regulated. I don't love it when the government does it.
But this feels so like restricted movies or 14A or whatever. Like, at least a warning.
You know what the difference is? And I think this is just right across the board. This answers the first question you asked, Matt, which is it's the algorithm. It's not the internet. All of those things are good. It's this predatory system that's based around. Yeah, I know
He didn't blame the algorithm, just not to push back.
because he said that the algorithm is actually a good thing. It recommends good things to you. The problem is it creates so maybe it's not the algorithm. I don't know, man.
No,
there's
exactly.
something
No,
inherently
there's something. I'm agreeing with you.
evil about the way that
Well, here's the thing.
that data mining is so predatory.
You could build the algorithm in a way where like the algorithm could pick up on negative trends. So what I'm saying is like they could build the algorithm so that if they notice that you're being radicalized through videos, that they can start sending you some videos from the other side. You know what I mean? That maybe push back a little bit and make you, okay, maybe I'm not seeing the whole picture here. Like that would be a better design for the algorithm. So that if you're watching nothing but like let's say you're a super lefty and all the videos that are coming up on your thing are how Justin Trudeau's amazing and he's doing all these great things. Maybe a few videos come up that are like, hey, Justin Trudeau robbed the Canadian people or whatever it may be that make you go. Now, again, it's up to you to click on them and you probably won't. But
When we used to watch television shows
yeah,
and a commercial would come on or whatever, it was the product. You know what I mean?
yeah, I know. We are the product.
We
Yeah.
are the product now. That changes the whole fucking game. So I just don't think it's fair to say, yeah, we're all. I don't know. Who knows if we'll be all right? It's so new. We don't have any history to like look. You can't compare it to television because it's not the same at all. One was an entertainment. The other is this like
Highly censored.
shark in the water.
Transparently highly censored.
More censored than television.
When I'm saying television is highly censored. We were watching.
No, I'm saying the internet is more censored than television.
What are you talking
I
about?
think so.
Yeah, what I'm saying is Simon, you're talking. I'm not talking about the internet as a whole. Okay, the internet as a whole is the Wild West. The internet that everyone uses on the day to day, which is the 7 websites that we all use: YouTube, Google, Facebook. I guess you could argue TikTok. Dude, YouTube is the most like. I get it that you can go find videos, but the big videos, the ones that have the millions of views, the ones that they push to you, they're all more censored than television. Far more censored than television.
Yeah, you're taking Elon's whole point there, right?
What was his point?
That
I feel like you can
you
swear
didn't
in
watch
those.
that interview?
Which one? With Don Lemon?
Don Lemon?
No, I just saw the clips. I know Don Lemon's an asshole.
I feel like you can. You're saying any of those, you can't swear.
Oh, it's the neighbor's fucking car. Yeah, you can't like it, dude. You watch YouTube Shorts, you see YouTube videos where they'll take the word rape is gone.
Oh, I know. Oh, here.
I don't give a fuck.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but
No, but you
case
get,
in point, you just got.
get what I'm
us
saying?
If
Like-
if that works.
no,
as
but the
such.
difference is like you could watch Law and Order and there wouldn't show a rape scene, but the
would.
cops would be like there was a rape and it happened and
the
we
guy's
weren't
in the
we weren't
basement.
like, oh my god, a rape! I can't. We were like, that happens in life, unfortunately, and police investigated, and that's the show I'm watching now. Like the word rape will not be in the fucking subtitles, and they'll get rid of it from the thing, and it's like,
Ergo, it's more censored than television.
well, again, I get what Simon's saying. Like the internet as a whole is not. You can go and find kiddie porn. You can find beheadings. Like there's so much shit you can find on there that would. That's the weirdest part to me is that it's like they have it all. You can see it all, but the ones they're pushing you are super censored and are like in this weird.
Well, if it's words, then it's ideas. Ideas are being censored, not concepts of violence.
Well, let me ask you a question. If they said everything you said you don't like there. The
Beheadings.
the swearing, that there's no swearing,
Yeah.
or no, you can't say rape.
Yeah.
If all that was allowed, but they censored the beheadings and the, all these crazy deaths and whatever else they have on there, the porn, because porn belongs on Pornhub, not on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Dude, Pornhub is going to steal that slogan for sure.
If you get rid,
100%.
if you get rid, like, doesn't that seem like a fair?
Yeah, but I mean, listen, we live.
I don't understand why that infringes so much on.
No, Simon,
because you're old. 'Cause
Simon,
you
no
don't
one's
care.
saying. First of all, like the porn that's on, let's say, like I don't know, where's the porn you're referring to? TikTok,
Twitter, Instagram. I don't know.
No, there's no porn on Instagram.
No.
There's just a little nip slip away from there being porn, but they pull it off. God,
But that's my point. Is like Instagram.
CGI. Dude, I guess right. I wanted to give this girl my Instagram. I'm like, here, sign up. And this thing opened up. It was just tits. It was just tits. And she was like a feminist. She's like, what is this? It's like I assaulted her by making. I was like, it's my for you. Because I think I always click on them to try to delete them. It was the most.
Sure.
It was the most.
There's nothing better than when someone. There's nothing better than when someone opens up their Google Chrome to show you something, and Pornhub opens up, and you can just see the shock in their face where they're like, "Oh my god!"
No, but it's Instagram. It's got me all wrong.
It doesn't. This isn't me. This isn't
It's
me.
just tits, but
That's hilarious.
but it's not porn. But there is porn on Twitter for sure.
But I think, Simon, that's my point, is like, let's use Instagram because Twitter is supposed to be the Wild West. So Twitter, the idea kind of is that there is porn on Twitter because, right? Elon is like, it's a free speech bastion. If you want to show.
Yeah. No.
So we'll use Instagram as the example. They do try to take as much of that stuff down. The beheadings,
Yeah, Instagram and TikTok are probably both very, like you said, censored. You don't see swears. You don't see.
I'd say X is closest to the truth.
Okay, well, I don't care.
Nope, don't have to.
I mean, what do you mean by closest
Of all
to
the
the truth?
social media
TikTok
platforms,
and Instagram to me are entertainment.
TikTok,
You know what
but
I
no,
mean?
but I've found shit on TikTok. Like something's coming like
what?
A bombing happened in Kiev in the 2
Yeah,
hours it's on
and then
CNN.
you have to go check to make sure it's true.
Yeah.
Because everything's a lie on there.
yeah.
Yeah, but if you see it on the news, you have to go check.
The
to see if
statement
it's
was
true.
of all
Yeah, fair
all the platforms, Twitter is closest to the truth.
Yeah, no,
but
it
no
is,
credit to
yes.
Elon, like he's done something is way that it's settled at this point.
It probably is closest to the truth. I
Listen, if
agree.
it's got Don Lemon pissed, he's got to be doing something right.
I'm so glad
that
you
interview
saw
was
him.
fucking hilarious.
It was so
because,
funny.
Well, it's just
I only saw the clip of Don being like, wait a minute. You think that like people should be able to say whatever they want on there?
I texted Kamar right after I watched it and said, "Who am I supposed to hate?"
I know, yeah.
Because I hated both of them,
Yeah.
like for different reasons,
Yeah.
but they were both like uber arrogant. They were both so annoying.
But so that's perfect. So I could send that to you saying, watch how Elon squirms or watch a woke retard. And either way, you're like, yeah, it is what he described.
I mean, I hate those. I hate a video that's labeled like "Watch this woke liberal get destroyed by Charlie Kirk" because it's usually just like, first of all, when Charlie Kirk or Crowder or those guys, like, dude, why are you arguing with 18-year-olds? Like, it's the craziest fucking thing on earth. You should school an 18-year-old in any debate you have. That shouldn't be a hard thing.
Yes.
We have to talk about this while we're here, though. We have to talk about this video because that was
Which video?
the Don Lemon,
well,
Elon
we are,
Musk.
sure.
So they go into it. Don Lemon he's about to sign a contract to be on Twitter for some ungodly sum of money.
$5 million up front, stake in like shares in X.
And then he gets in an argument with the owner.
Hold on.
Editorial, like he should be the head of the left sort of editorial in the news for X. I think he wanted a private jet. I don't know how that would work out to be like always his.
Anyways, it's a sweet
Massages, drinks for him and his boyfriend.
Sweet fucking deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Then he goes on and does this like insane gotcha interview right from the very first question. It was insane.
Yeah.
Are you on drugs? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you know what I mean?
And no, he said yes, a prescription.
And
For
it-
what?
Well, he
How
said,
do you do it?
he said it's actually pretty rude to ask somebody about the medication they're on.
I would agree.
Anyway,
I could just I picture Don Lemon going to the bathroom in your home and rifling through the fucking medicine cabinet.
I've been giving this a lot of thought, and I think that Don Lemon was legitimately about to sign this huge deal with Twitter.
Yeah.
Somebody got
Jeff
to
Zucker.
him. Somebody got to him and said, "Yo, you can't go there for this, and this reason. We will give you more than what you're getting from him, but you have to go on there and do this gotcha interview. So we'll have clips for the next fucking however long."
But hold on, do you think anyone from the left is sharing that interview? Like, oh, look at Don Lemon.
When you cut it
He's
down
doing a
into-
victory tour on that side.
Matt, I'm telling you, you go on to TikTok right now. There are clips out there that make it look like Don Lemon made Elon look insane, because all they do is they take the question he asked and they give an answer that wasn't to the question he had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
editing.
No, but they're just saying we're just showing highlights. I mean, it's bing bang boom. We got to keep the
I'm
viewer
telling
engaged.
you, like Kamar said, that one can look, they can make it look like it went either way. But there is no way, if he's really on X, you can still go out and ask Elon a couple of hard questions, but without being so arrogant to the guy who's paying your bill. Like, none of it made any sense.
Who then still posted your thing on X. It wasn't like, fuck this guy. It was like, yeah, we're not working together.
Wait,
but
did
you can
Elon
still
post
use
it?
Well, no, he let X post it. He
No, he
wasn't.
You're hilarious.
Don
You
Lemon
give
has a
credit. You
Twitter.
give credit where it is not due
No,
so fucking much. Elon let it go up.
I try to. I was saying that there's no credit to Elon. How
What do you mean?
X
Yeah,
has landed.
Elon let it go up. Let it go up where? On Twitter?
on
He
X.
just sat there being like, I let everything on. I'm all about free speech. Of course he's letting it on.
But he'd be exposed if he didn't.
Exposed for what?
For being a hypocrite.
Oh, actually, maybe he didn't. Still, they can throttle it.
No, it's
He
been
didn't
seen.
let them put that on it.
Oh, he didn't let them pump it up, is what
Exactly.
you're saying.
Some sort of
Well, I don't know. I didn't see it on Twitter.
on top of tearing up the contract in front of you. You could hear in Don Lemon's voice he was crying at a couple of questions because he didn't write those questions. He was like, I can't believe I'm saying this to him. He's not gonna like this one. And when Elon said, "Your question isn't cogent," he goes, "What's that?" We'll answer it anyways. And cogent means your question doesn't make sense. But he was like, just staring like, and why do you think that? It was really an expose on that guy who I've complained about for years.
I mean, the interesting part to me is that I think there's like clear collusion at work here. You know?
Why do you think CNN's the left?
Oh yeah, that was insane. That was insane.
Why do you think I'm on the left? Because I assure you, I am not.
Yeah.
But then Elon said some like stupid shit too. You know what I mean? The whole
No, not Elon.
the whole slave thing was stupid.
We all are
It
slaves.
was like a Kanye thing to say. Yeah, I know, Kamar, but it's like this blanket way in which you can say a lot of things and
you-
still insult people.
Have you seen Morgan
like-
Freeman talk about race with Don Lemon and Larry King?
No.
He's more like a Kanye in his approach. Or Elon is that if we keep talking about it, it'll never go away.
And that's totally fine for Morgan Freeman to say.
And then
I love
to
how you
Don
say.
Because
Lemon's
he's
face.
I love how you
black.
say he took the Kanye approach. That
No,
is
no,
not the Kanye approach.
It was controversial and offensive when he said that.
That doesn't mean it's the Kanye approach.
Well, it's the same. Kanye is saying we're all slaves to the
Jews.
system. No, I don't think he believes that. Anyways, we're getting lost here. Do you remember the trope of in Welcome to the Jungle?
That's the funniest thing you've ever said.
When Axl Rose is like trapped and he has to watch the TVs of all the violence and stuff.
Like a Clockwork Orange.
It's sort of-
There was a
it's-
music video for that. Was the music
Welcome
video
to the
for Welcome to
Jungle.
the Jungle? I don't remember it.
I don't remember.
Well, I thought it was a live.
It's a live mix.
Oh,
of, like,
gotcha, okay.
Oh, yeah,
and it's
yeah,
all
yeah,
fires and
yeah,
cops
yeah.
beating guys
Yes,
and just
yes, yes.
L.A. and the like, not in a good way. Like it's and I think there's hot girls. Anyways, and he's just there, And Clockwork Orange is another example of them making you watch all this stuff. Super. And,
I think that's an MK Ultra thing.
But okay, great. They're making you. You have to be forced to do it. We are now doing it 100% voluntarily to
Not
ourselves.
all of us. Like Ari,
No, not all of us, but
like
You're-
Tom Segura and Joe definitely are.
No, but you're watching what you like.
Yeah,
If that's
at
the
least.
shit you like, then so it's not. You know what I'm saying?
but the violence is still shooting in. I'm scrolling and
if
obviously
you're watching the
a guy with
violence.
a gun to his head or something.
I never get that shit.
You know what? You know what I did notice though, and I thought about this is like on Instagram when it's gonna be someone killing themselves, it's blurred out, and you have to click on it and say, "I never do. I just
I
keep
don't
moving.
think
I
that
always keep
shit
moving."
is on Instagram.
Well, yeah, I don't know what you shouldn't be getting that on Instagram.
Like, I don't
Animals
get anything
dying, maybe,
but fucking
but violence.
people
I get
shaking their
violence on Instagram.
boobs.
There you go, and that's an idea of it
you
just
do
randomly
on
come.
Instagram. No.
Yeah,
That's it, randomly coming into your mindset.
What do you get?
I've gotten violent video again. Like I could go on Instagram
Like
right
you
now.
never see like fights on Instagram.
Yeah, you do. Sure, you
No.
do. Yes, you do.
No.
Yes, you do.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
You're not even on Instagram.
I mean, I am.
Oh, you're back on
No,
now?
but I
voyeuristically.
Like, I
yeah,
go
yeah.
on to look sometimes.
How many of theirs are? My mom doesn't have a phone.
Good for her.
I think it's crazy,
God.
but she seems grounded.
I mean, like again, I've said this many times. If you were to go on my YouTube right now, like all the videos it's going to suggest you are basketball, video games, Joe Rogan, and other like speakers in Joe Rogan's realm. But that's it. It's not
YouTube does not feel as insidious as the other ones.
like I truly feel like I'm with Ari, where YouTube's algorithm is like we give you what the fuck you watch and want, and things that are adjacent to that. So like, if you want to be outraged by stuff, here's your outrage porn. If it's dogs you're into, here's fucking dog. Like,
And I think it helps if you subscribe to certain things.
yeah, maybe because that's the thing. I hardly subscribe to anyone.
But a channel you watch every single day,
Nope.
you don't just subscribe
No.
to. Subscribe to this one, guys.
No, I'm a hypocrite. I am. That's also why I never tell people to subscribe because I don't expect them to do what I know. Simon's the same.
I don't because I don't want it to infect my fucking algorithm.
But I'm
man.
sure if you just subscribe to 4 puppy videos,
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah,
you wouldn't see anything. He's
And he wonders why he gets like naked women.
yeah. It's all tits.
no on Instagram.
Sydney Sweeney tits, Sydney Sweeney naked.
I bet
Sydney
if
Sweeney-
I looked at your Instagram right now, it would be heavily this and a lot of women.
Yeah.
Let me see. Hold
In
on.
case
Hold on.
Rocket's in the middle.
Yeah,
let me
every picture is like
I don't understand that.
That's because you
That's 'cause
click
those are
on a
the
lot
videos
of
you
girl
watch.
I,
tits
I
video.
don't though.
Bullshit.
really.
Kamar, how?
Wrap it up, guys.
Oh my god, that would be a hilarious shirt, eh? Just the squares.
No,
for
I'm sure
different-
everyone's is like that when you go on the search button. And then, hey, wait, now you're going through my dick pics.
No, I'm going through who you've searched for because this is more telling. I'm not going to say it out loud, but it's more telling for sure.
penile implants.
No. It's like if you search, like, I guarantee, Kamar, you also drink a lot,
You
right?
think he knows the
Not
algorithm?
just hacked your phone.
No, think about it. He's forgetting that he might be on his Instagram drunk, looking for tits. Never.
I'd be on Pornhub.
No, I'm saying maybe you're in the
But on-
cab.
But on this phone.
No, but it probably has to
On
do
this phone,
too
it even
with
knows
like
that.
I don't know this for a fact. I'm assuming that the longer you look at a video, maybe it recognizes that as
It does,
opposed
yeah.
to you just flicking through. You know,
Yeah, if you stop on a girl's
it's like
bouncing
retention
tits.
time.
Yeah, but if you go through my scroll, there's no girls with tits. Anyways, it's weird.
Yeah, like what's up with that?
We're getting lost.
Because it's the reels.
No, I'm just
So
joking.
he he contends that children are losing their childhood because they're getting way too much information out of them, making them think they know something, but they just sort of have an idea, and it's much better for them to physically experience the world gradually to be a formed person and to think you know everything at 11 because you stayed up all night on your phone.
Listen, there was probably a real sweet spot somewhere. I don't know what year it was before the social media totally went crazy, but the internet had gotten, for searching and stuff, had gotten pretty good. If you could have somehow curbed shit right around there, that seems to be the best of both worlds. You're still getting the information, but without this the money. They're just, maybe it would have ended up being more of like a utility thing. And
You know what's ironic is that when you're a kid, you see adults doing things and you think to yourself like, oh, that's cool that they do that. And when I do that, it'll make me an adult. And you don't realize as a kid that like all that stuff, like shaving is a perfect example. When you're a young man, you're like, can't wait to shave. And then you get there and you're like, this is I have to do this every day for the remainder of my life. Like, why did
It's so much hard to be a woman, man.
No, even then, girls, yeah. Oh, I can't wait to get my period. Like, really? I bet you regret ever saying that in your life. You know what I mean? And so it's a weird thing to think that like these kids, like he said, when they have the phones taken away at school, they're all like, that was way better.
If everybody.
No, I get it, but that's my point. Is like they're slaves to this thing they think they want. They think they want to have in their life because adults have it. They don't realize we're a slave to it. That like when we look at our phone, when I get an email, I'm like, nightmare. When I get a phone call, I'm like, nightmare.
And it's the ugly truth we won't admit to ourselves.
Precisely. We definitely can't tell the kid. Like, if you told your kid, I hate this fucking thing. I want to smash this fucking thing.
But they'd ask you, why do you do it?
Of course.
And then you'd be like, just a second, I'm getting a thing. And
Well, no, in a way, because you have to explain to them, like, unfortunately, the world is connected through this, and I make the money that pays the bills through this. And
just think about what you just said. It sounds pretty fucking insidious. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like the devil. Legitimately.
because even in having the discussion, you don't have the choice to put this away. You cannot, you know what? I'm not going to have a phone for the next couple
And
months.
imagine a thing
You can't.
where me as a parent knows it's bad, and you're like, but if I take it from him, he will be totally disconnected from all his friends. Like, they have fucked us so badly. They're fucking us up the ass. They're fucking us in the ears, in the mouth. And we're just like gagging and thanking them. It's insane.
I think I would say it's
insane.
It's a great idea. It's just far too late.
I don't think it's far too late. I think, like,
I
listen,
think
he said it-
Kurzweil is not right about everything, but things is going to ramp up in like the next 3 years, like really soon. That all these discussions are stupid.
I know, but Kamar, it's not. Listen, what they could do is the schools can simply say, there's schools right now that are like, you have to wear a uniform. So you just do the same thing. You can't bring your phone to school.
that seems like such a no-brainer.
The school
to
thing
me.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yonder bags,
Yeah.
legitimately.
Yeah.
You put your phone in a Yonder bag in your locker.
The school thing, I think they should do. I think they should.
Why
but
on earth couldn't they?
I still
They
think
can.
It's not too late to try.
Yeah.
But I think it's too late to actually make a difference.
No,
No, I disagree. You can save a generation.
You can save a generation.
Yeah, there's no reason to be like, that's
This
a terrible.
generation's lost.
Because it's
But
such
you
an
can
adult
save
flex.
the next one.
Yeah, of course you could. We could.
They have
trust
been
it yourself
adult flexing forever in the history of our
in the
existence.
wrong ways, in the wrong avenues.
We could also, Simon.
Sometimes in the right avenues. Look at like smoking cigarette. You know what I mean? Like those are bad things they were trying to keep from you.
But they can ban flavored Zyn right away in places.
maybe Zyn will end up being terrible.
Why
for
can't
you.
they ban? Or no, it's not ban. It was the wrong word.
No, but it is because California, like I agree. Like I hate, this is the thing I was talking about last week with you guys is I hate the whole, like, we have to do it to save the children. We often do this thing where it's like we sacrifice our freedoms because we're afraid of the children. And like, again, I'm an adult. If I want fucking flavored Zyn, I should be able to get flavored Zyn. If I want to smoke a menthol cigarette, I should be able to do so. I am an adult of free will. Again, do I want a kid smoking cigarettes? No. Do I want a kid with Zyn in their mouth, especially at school? No, I don't want that. But I don't want a world where we're chopping everyone down at the knees to protect the kids because we're doing a terrible job of it anyway, even though we already try to protect the kids. So,
And we use nicotine because it's unhealthy, but we still do it as the same way. Social media is unhealthy, but we do it.
well, again, we're free-willed adults. Like, if I want to waste my day on Instagram, that's my fucking...
You have to be 18, though, to do the nicotine.
Yeah,
You have to be a certain age to...
it's 19 here, buddy.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, he contended that we're now moved to a place where we're overprotecting children outside.
I agree with this 100%.
Unprotecting them inside. And the physical predator and stuff is way easier to find. Since a girl screams, someone says something, and the online predator is way more insidious.
I don't know if you remember this, but in like the second year we did the show, there was a guy that came on Joe's show and he said, statistically speaking, you could leave your child alone in an unlocked car in public. I think he said for 100,000 years, and statistically speaking, it wouldn't get taken. He said, by and large, when kids get abducted, it's by a family member or someone they know well. He said the odds of just a random fucking pedophile out in the street taking your kids is like almost, it's 0.00.
And that was a thing when I was a kid. And I think for sure in every neighborhood it happened.
Yeah, because you could disappear back then.
But everyone knew everyone in the neighborhood, family wise.
Yeah.
And say some guy was just came in the neighborhood and assaulted a kid or something. It would go around like wildfire, and it would just be almost become a local.
I remember there was
Legend.
a flasher in the old Ottawa South
I
for like
do.
a couple weeks.
I do remember it just being weird, and
Yeah.
then not all of a sudden it's not. Or I don't ever think that if I told a kid to walk someplace, but now I say you can't let a 8-year-old walk by themselves. But I remember distinctly walking to the store at 8 years old by myself. Like,
Listen, my dad, dude, I grew up at Bank in McLeod. That's where I spent my first, I guess, 8 years until my parents got divorced. Dude, my dad was like Saturday afternoon. He was like, Saturday morning, take your bike, take it downtown. Like I used to bike around.
Hold on, but if you live in like a normal neighborhood,
Yeah,
you are still doing that. That's not gone.
but hold on, I lived in Centertown.
today,
Right now,
today,
no parent in Centertown would let their
Today.
no, that's not happening.
What are you talking about?
When we were even like 14, all you want to do was get out of school and go to some guy's house and play a video game.
No.
with
I
20
get
guys.
it. It's some of that is being taken by the computer. I'm just saying kids can still walk to the store by themselves. We don't live in like downtown Philadelphia or something.
Kids
you
could
know?
always walk to school by themselves because they have to. And out of 100,000 kids, something horrible happens as a kid. That's how life works. And everyone learns from that and gets smarter. But protecting them from not doing anything, he says, is detrimental.
I mean, listen,
No, I agree with that. I'm just okay. Forget it. Don't worry about it.
we also do this weird thing, like, we found out, remember that guy last week? Remember when James Lindsay was like, the reason we don't screen everyone for cancer is because of the false negative, right? So I was thinking about that false negative, and I was,
That
again,
seems insane.
I don't want to go down this road, but like, let's just use, vaccines as an example, and not the last vaccine. Let's go pre-pandemic. Okay. So before we knew about, no, because this matters.
What are you
No. I
about
think we're
over
going
there?
somewhere very, very
Well, no, what I was going to say is like, we all had this kind of quiet agreement that like vaccines by and large were good, but we knew quietly that they probably killed a few people.
Not everything works for everyone.
Yes, the idea was that like if we could help 99.8% of the population, we were going to do so, and that we felt terrible that some people were going to get lost in the mix. But we just accepted that, and it's, we can't. I don't know where I was going with it. Forget it. I think that like we do this thing where we try to protect everyone, and we're never going to do that. We're always going to lose a few along the way. There's too many of us.
Business. Blame it on the game.
Yeah, and I know it sounds crass or it sounds cold-hearted to be like we're just going to lose some people along the way, but like if you look at the numbers of how many people die on Earth every day,
2004, 250,000 people died in a half an hour. And the fact that isn't a thing that's always
say
like
that again. In
2004,
Yeah.
The 26th of December, 250,000 people died in a half hour when the tsunami came in and washed
see
out
what you're saying.
India, Thailand,
Yeah, Sri Lanka.
It was
wasn't Sri Lanka.
it was ridiculous what happened in the flash of an eye, and then the water just recedes, and we dealt with it. We've gone on, so we can take crazy hits and the best thing about
Who's
that
we? You're
humanity,
saying humanity,
world kind,
Gotcha.
because also as well there was no racism or anything. You know what I mean? That was just every race you could imagine in places on
erased.
vacation, erased.
You're saying that the tsunami wasn't
It didn't know.
wasn't woke.
wasn't racist
didn't know.
towards anybody.
Well, the Japanese one might have been. 'Cause it only got Japan.
Gotcha.
It had like 1940s U.S. racism in its eyes.
This was
Yeah.
a tourism spot, exactly.
Unbelievable.
Either way, I was just saying, we have to be very cautious because we do this often where we're trying to protect every single person, and I just don't think it's realistic. It's kind of where we're at with woke now, where we're trying to include every single person and make sure every person's heard and counted and voted, and it's not to our benefit. It's not benefiting us at all.
Well, the other thing he said, and
The needs of the many.
Ari stressed it also in Parks and Rec that in
and Rec.
day-to-day life, everything's fine.
Yeah, if you go out and just
At
walk.
my work, I work with like 40 people, and the white people are definitely the minorities. They're the managers or whatever, and there's all genders and just working together. Like there's never been a incident you know, where there's unrest. But if you go on social media, then you will think there's unrest.
Kamar, my mom has this gay friend who I don't think is very fond of me, and
Your mom has a gay friend who's not fond of you.
Yeah.
Or you don't think you.
I don't
no
think
idea.
he's never said.
No one
outward-
said he doesn't like you.
Yeah. Point being, though, last time I was at my mom's, he was there. We were all having dinner, and we got in this discussion. I say with air quotes.
He said he was about to say argument, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, because
Debate.
I was trying to say to him that I was like, this is what I said. I said, when I'm out in the world, I don't see a lot of like anger or outward hatred or racism or bigotry. And he immediately jumped to me and he was like, because that's because you're a straight white man, and why would you? And I said,
He wasn't white, was he?
Yeah, he is,
Okay,
yeah. No, hold on.
No.
So-
I don't want him to get any more time than he got with you.
no, but I said I stopped him and I was like, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I wasn't saying that like what I deal with. I said when I see two people, I said when I see a black person in talking to a whatever, it doesn't matter. I was like, I don't see a lot of bigotry and hatred out there. It's all online. I see it all online.
That's hateful that you just said that again.
Yeah. Well, I am a piece of shit.
So what he was saying is social media helps amplifies the extremes because they're screaming so much louder about such crazier stuff. It finds its way maybe through the algorithm.
And then you ask yourself, if they're able to push things, who's deciding what gets pushed where, right? Like that's the problem.
Well, no, you know what the problem is too,
You have
Simon?
to push things.
No, like you're seeing a lot of left-leaning liberal video. How is that shit getting into your?
On my feed.
Yeah,
Could
on
you
your feed.
imagine? Yeah.
Could I imagine?
And I don't
How
know
is
how it's
that happening?
I don't know.
Well,
I
can I-
don't know. Unless I'm secretly clicking on it
No,
to hate read
more
it.
You are,
likely
yeah.
is
That happens.
exactly
It's
what
possible, it's
Elon
possible.
is saying when he's taking no responsibility. Is exactly what's happening. He's saying, look, we have this stuff on Twitter, but we don't push it towards anybody. It's in the back, and people have to go searching for it. Like you said, these guys are deciding we're gonna show you more weird liberal trans stuff.
I think you're forgetting too, though, that it goes back to what Kamar was saying. Like a normal person doesn't spend their day or life on the internet bitching and moaning about whatever, right? Like you can't. You have a family. You have a business. You don't have time to be on the internet. So my point is, these crazy fucks that are on the extremes that Kamar's talking about, they have all day and they make 100 videos and they repost them and they retweet them. And that's why that shit gets so much play, is because the craziest of our society, those people also probably don't tend to have jobs because they're not very well adjusted, right? So, and I'm talking about the extreme right and left, both sides. Like I assume both of those sides are pretty unemployable and they probably spend their day fucking railing on the other side. And I don't know. I think that's how those voices get so amplified. I don't think it's a matter of the algorithm. And like Kamar said, Kamar's like, how am I getting this stuff? If Kamar watches one Justin Trudeau video that's anti-Trudeau, then the algorithm is like hashtag Justin Trudeau. He watched this video 6 times. So then he's getting more Trudeau videos. And it's fueling the hate because then he's watching them being like, this fucking idiot. And then he might comment on one being like, Justin Trudeau's a fucking moron. And then he's commenting on it.
He would not do that.
Well, you never know.
He would watch them though. He'd watch them, and everything was. I don't commenting. I don't even get the point.
Yeah, I don't
By the
either.
time I click on the comment bar, I'm like, what am I doing?
Most of the things I see on social media,
Yeah.
in air quotes,
Yeah.
is people trying to make money in one way or another.
Hustle,
You know what I mean?
hustle
That's
part.
really what most of it is.
Yeah. I agree.
It's not left, it's not right, it's capitalism.
I mean, even at the end of the day, Simon, the people that you could argue are not, they are. Because if you're trying to gain traction and followers, you're doing it so that if you really think about it, your end goal is
Yeah.
monetary.
I'm sure.
Like Kamar, if you
No,
had,
but
if-
some people just want to be heard. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
but what I'm,
No, everyone wants to make money, man.
Some people,
If people saw how interesting I was, then they'd give me
the
money
people
to see
who
more
are
of me.
leaving comments and stuff,
That's trying to get people to follow you.
Kamar, not everyone though.
I think most
Hold on.
people just want to like
Oh man,
feel important.
The comment game is serious, man.
Did you ever see the Kiwi guy that made handmade? He made handmade Maori masks out of wood. He whittled them. He was doing it during COVID.
He was a whittler then.
Yes. Anyway. Real funny fucking guy. He was a whittler. Yes. Anyway,
I don't know why that's funny.
it's because he's got 10 zins in his mouth, and it's tough to say whittler when you've got fucking 8 pouches.
No, I'm riding raw right now.
Riding raw.
He's raw dogging.
Get to the break. Fuck.
Point I'm trying to make is this, Kamar. This guy started this stream during COVID with no one watching. Some famous person.
Whittling these masks.
Yeah, just-
so is there a SMR sort of video?
It's literally just a camera with him outside. He's got music playing, and it's just him whittling away. Dude, he ended up with millions of people watching him. Yeah. And then all those people were like, why don't you turn on the donation button? And he was like, nah, I don't want anyone's money. I'm just out here doing this for fun.
No brand deals?
Nope, never turned it on, never did
You
anything.
know that today? Is
I don't
still
know that today, but what I'm saying is like for the first 6 months, I'm sure eventually someone got
Talking
in
about
his
something
ear.
like integrity there. just want to see people with the mask.
My point was, I think there is a small percent of the population that, like Simon's saying, maybe aren't doing it for money.
Of course.
A
Or
small,
didn't start doing it for money.
Sure,
Maybe
yeah.
is
Yeah,
a
they,
better,
they wouldn't start doing it for money, and then they end up making money. What are you supposed to do?
No, I
Turn
think
it away?
most of them do start doing it for money. Is my point.
I'd
Then
like-
you'll
I'd
run
like to-
into a
I'd
guy like
to-
this.
I like to follow up on that.
I
guy
bet
that
you he is
found
making
out.
money now. Like it would be crazy not
Or
to.
I would
He
hope
could leave money
he could
on
be
the
lying
table.
that whole time.
I would hope he is, Simon, because again, like if you have 300,000 people watching you and they're really enjoying you and they're getting something out of it and they want to give you a buck.
Some compensation.
Yeah, well, no, like I bet his wife eventually was like, can we please turn on the fucking donation button? Like we're out here on fucking, like can we pay some bills, please? Like
She's hooking.
yeah, exactly. Like, dude, if this brought in nothing, Mary would be like, still, huh? 5 years? Like, I don't-
Really, eh?
No, she
You
wouldn't
buy
be.
her a bag or something every
No,
time?
no. I think the point though is like if you were to just do
Do
something.
Patreon.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, to take up this much space and time in our home, I think she would be like, after 5 years, really, it's bringing in nothing. Like, she'd still let me do it. She wouldn't care, but she would question it.
That's what dreams are made of.
I hope that
Simon would question it.
we would question
Yeah,
it at that
exactly.
point.
Oh no, we wouldn't be questioning it.
We wouldn't be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Would we, though? I don't know. I have fun doing this one way or the other. I know the edit would get
problem-
to me.
I just don't think you could go from having to not having if you never had and you just did it for the love of the game.
No, that's what I'm
You
saying.
know
We
what I
never
mean?
made money from day one.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Maybe you could keep doing
But-
it because
but-
that's what I'm saying. Everybody wants to be heard, you know?
But what's interesting is the obligation is sort of keeping you doing it. We have to do this because we said we'd do this. If there was nothing riding on anything, if we didn't do an episode, nothing, it doesn't make a difference.
I mean, listen.
We're in the game. so to
Kamar,
speak.
there's definitely, I mean, considering that we've missed one whole week in 5 years, yeah, there's definitely, like when I went to Florida in January, I should have just taken the week off.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like 100%. I shouldn't have rushed back. Like that was so
yeah,
stupid.
of
There's
course.
no,
Yeah, no.
I did that for one ad that made us like,
Exactly. And I think about you guys because I've taken more off than you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I really urge you guys to try to do it. I was going to have this talk in private, but just once, like just to see if I missed it, but it's also freeing. The only problem for me is I still had to take notes. If there's a one whole week where I don't even
where
have
you
to
know
think about
for
what's
sure.
on Joe,
Yeah.
that'd be like, and if I miss it, I miss it. If I don't, I don't.
I think my big fear is how freeing it would. You know what I mean? I might
No,
be like,
but-
relieve me of these shackles.
So yeah, but Tom Green needed a pandemic to figure he'd been chasing his ass for 20 years and that he'll want to be in Ottawa the whole time.
yeah.
So I really think you guys should try it.
How's that Tom Green thing coming along?
He's on tour.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, Kamar, listen, at the end of the day, like I really do enjoy doing this. And if you guys tomorrow were
do.
like, I'm
I
fucking
enjoy
done,
it.
I would find a way to keep the gear and I would then find a way to do something else, whether it would be inviting a different person in weekly to talk about whatever. I now, after 5 years, I like this.
Yep, that's
So
amen.
I enjoy, and I never see Simon anymore. It's nice to sit down once a week, even though he's an angry Jew who's
We're
hardly
fortunate.
my friend.
I don't know if we could. I don't know if we could do this if we saw each other every day. I think we'd be sick of each other.
Well, me and you aren't friends. We are acquaintances who meet on
We're
Sundays.
friends now. I think we're friends now.
Yeah,
When's my
that's
birthday?
so
I think
rude.
because of this.
No, when's my birthday?
I don't know anyone's birthday.
He doesn't even know my birthday.
I don't know my mother's birthday. That's
Fine,
totally
fair enough. Fair enough. Whatever.
Birthdays are gay. To quote
Thanks, Shane.
Gillis.
Yes.
Thank you. I agree.
Oh, I agree too, but I still just feel like that's a friend thing. Do you know my birthday, Simon?
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, you want me to tell you?
Yeah, yeah.
May 7th.
Close.
Oh, shut up.
It's not May 7th? April 7th.
I just missed your birthday.
March 7th?
I just missed your
March
birthday.
7th.
So you don't know my birthday.
Thank God.
It's definitely the 7th. Hold on a second.
You are correct,
It's March.
Simon.
It's March 7th.
Incorrect.
February
No.
7th.
It's February.
It's
7th.
February.
Because I
7th.
missed it. You told me I wasn't your friend. I was
I
like,
knew it
I
was
guess I'm
somewhere
not.
in there.
For listeners, do the best is we're out back having a cigarette. We're smoking a joint. And I say to Kamar, you missed my birthday. And he pulls out his phone and he texts me right in front of me, happy birthday, Matt. It was a fucking A+ maneuver.
I got a paper trail.
Strong move, Kamar.
They got into this weird position that if you support the Palestinian people, then you're anti-Israel. And if you support Israel, you're anti-them. And there's like almost no third position to be, or I just don't care. Not my problem. It's such a weird part of the conflict.
That's why I said
You know
like
what I
2
mean?
weeks in, I'm like,
You
I'm
know, I
burying
don't
my
want
head in the
anyone to get
sand.
hurt.
Yeah.
But isn't every conflict like that?
Every conflict is like this.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Like, unless you're clearly going after a bad guy, like, unless you're fighting the Nazis.
No, you're right.
You know?
Well, no, but
Yeah, you gotta pick a
everyone's
side,
pushing
yeah.
for Ukraine. There isn't a bunch of people going, well, Russia should win.
Right, okay,
People are
yeah,
saying he
yeah.
might be justified, but the whole world thinks Ukraine's fighting the good fight and Russia's the bad guy.
I think the problem there, Kamar, is the quasi dictator.
ISIS was another enemy. It was easy to pick a side.
Well, who do you pick aside now? Because ISIS just killed fucking 50 Russians in like
Did
a
they
night.
or did they get hired? Apparently, those guys got paid $5,000.
They got as much as Shane did for going on SNL.
Well, there goes that episode. But it was 100,000 square foot building with shops and theaters. It was a mall. It was like the West Edmonton Mall, but Moscow style. And these guys came in and apparently shot the place up and burned it down.
Dude,
Speaking
it
of burned
honestly.
down- oh,
no,
sorry,
just real quick. This sounds crazy. There was a Call of. I know how crazy this is going to sound. 15, 20 years ago, there was a Call of Duty level in the game. Like if you're playing single player, that was super controversial because you played an undercover. You were going deep undercover to try to get these Russian terrorists, and they made you go into an airport and mow down hundreds of innocent civilians.
Oh, Jesus.
That was the mission.
Jesus.
The mission you played is go in with an LMG.
No.
I'm not kidding.
Really?
I could pull it up right now.
There you go. That's the kind of freedom you want in the video games.
My point though is like, dude, seeing the footage they had of this, I was like, it resembled this fucking, it was nuts. Like watching it, I was like, holy fuck, it gave me chills.
Did I tell you guys about the prisons in Salvador?
El Salvador, yeah, the
Where they-
max.
where
I
they
told you
just put the-
16
with
by
the
16.
tattoos.
Yeah.
The key is there's a particular tattoo that you have to get if you're in the gang, and to get in the gang, you have to kill someone. So by getting that tattoo, there's the law is saying you're admitting to murder. So
Crazy.
we don't have to have a trial.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Is
egregious
that-
in
is
my
that
opinion.
right?
You walk
No
around
way.
with murder. You're saying you killed someone because otherwise you couldn't do that.
Oh, that's what you were trying to tell us last week.
Well, no, I thought it was any tattoo, and then I talked to this guy from
Okay, that
Argentina.
makes way more sense.
Yeah, but there's a specific one. There's three. There's
You're,
three
you're
that you
wearing
have.
your like
I still don't like
Your
it.
membership thing. You don't like it.
No, we have habeas, what is it? Habeas corpus?
no.
This is just save a generation.
Yeah, I understand, Kamara. I understand.
Same. It's drastic as this phone thing, sort of.
All I'm saying is we in this country, we have a court of law where you have to be proven. They're not proving anything.
They're admitting.
But you're not. Listen, and I get it. I know what you're going to say. If you get that tattoo and you're not in the gang or you haven't killed someone,
kill
they're
you.
going to kill you. Dude, there might be someone out there, just some fucking schmo who went and got that. Okay.
I don't think so. I think it's so much more deeper.
I
in
understand
South
what you're saying. I
America
get
than
it.
what we think. Like they
Yeah,
don't
'cause
care about hockey and all
it's
the things
crazy
we care
that
about.
there's no trial, but it's a good way to round up the perpetrators because they were like,
I'm not. I
It's
agree.
drastic. It's drastic.
crazy enough to put it out there, you know?
Listen, I'm sure they know there's tattoos in the States on gang members that they know mean you've killed someone.
Well, you can't
they-
do that here. You can't do that here.
They know like the teardrop, you know?
Yeah, but there's fucking white boys
Yeah, I
in
know,
fucking
that's a problem.
People will
Mississauga
do
walking
that.
around with two of those.
Little pump or whatever.
So he also said of the top 20 universities, all have a woke virus
Yeah.
surging through them, which was sort of disheartening.
Sorry, just
By the by,
by the by, huge fire on Bank Street today.
Shut up.
Yeah, the Glebe Apothecary.
Shut
The
up.
whole upstairs burnt. Like it's all
So
it's fucked.
the metro.
It's closed right now.
Shut up.
I don't know if it got burnt, but it was right next door. So Crazy fire, like a 10 fire truck fire this morning.
So between second and third, that block is just
Correct,
fucking
yeah.
behind.
The grocery store's gone.
No, he
No,
didn't say that.
It's
Just
not
closed.
gone. It's like it burnt through the upstairs
The
apartment.
water
you
comes
know?
into the
And
apothecary,
then,
goes
that's
over there.
that's a problem.
It's gone. That whole building's gone. That's gonna be a write-off or insure.
He thinks he's cracked the case.
Oh, there is a diamond store on the very end.
On the very end, but it was also the pharmacy, maybe, you know.
Yeah, tough times for a pharmacy.
They own that by then. The McKean legacy. Anyways,
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, sorry.
what'll be crazy is to physically see it.
Yeah, you'll see it. It's not burnt down.
No, but the skyline of the Glebe, what I know for 30 years, is changed.
But this is the
forever.
second big fire on that block.
Well, McDonald's burnt
Papery burnt down, and I think it's.
Do you not
because
remember
of,
the
like, old
arson on
wiring.
First, like 10 years, 15 years ago? Do you remember that?
No.
20 years ago? There was like 5 new houses built on
Oh, yeah,
Second.
yeah. I
Remember,
do
and someone
remember,
burnt them all
yeah.
down? Dude, the craziest story, my ex-girlfriend lived on First behind those houses. Her house caught fire.
No way.
Burnt to the ground.
What?
Here's what's crazy. She had been on like a 3-day party bender. She was a big time raver before we dated. She came home without her parents knowing, closed her drapes and fell asleep. And her whole family gets evacuated. They're all out on the street, standing there with the firefighters, watching their house burn down. Her mom, luckily, is like, Laura's drapes weren't closed. Someone has to go in there. Firefighters fucking went through the window, found her asleep.
Oh my god,
Dude,
that's insane.
She woke up dude. She woke up in a firefighter's arms. Crazy, and the house
the
burned to the
mom
ground.
noticed that the curtains
Nuts.
were closed.
Nuts.
That's crazy.
You know what? Next time you think of that, you got to clip that and think about it because that's a perfect quick scene that you can throw in something.
Yeah, it's great scene. Anyways, move on because this had nothing to do with.
Sorry, well, you brought up
it's
fire.
My fault, it's my
I'm
fault.
sorry.
Great
I'm sorry.
story, Matt.
Really, that was a really good story.
That's how you know it's a terrible
You
story.
want to
when
hear
they both
another
reiterate.
good story? Just while we're on good stories,
He goes wrap
you-
it up. But
do you
wait,
know what a bowler
but
hat
first-
was originally used as?
to kill people?
You know bowler hats?
Pull
Yeah.
down over their head and punch them in the
Move
face.
water.
No, it was the hat of the chimney sweeps who would stand on the ground. And when things would fall
interesting.
because they were hard at the top, and then later on they became like, but they were the original hard hat.
Yes, yes, a
Interesting.
cushion like a cardboard box on your head.
Well, they were very hard.
The more you know.
Yeah, there you go. Another good story. Okay, now we can move on.
Well, I actually have a crazy story.
No, we don't
My
wanna hear
uncle was telling me. He used to be a doctor, and he had a patient who was a paraplegic.
Yeah.
And 3 months into his new life as a paraplegic, he sneezed and he saw a toe move. They had told him, "You're never going to walk again," and the toe moved, and he can walk with a walker now. 2 years later.
Wow.
But it was that fidget, whatever he saw, gave him like, just got to be a way, and he figured it out. Is that crazy?
That is crazy.
And that's a crazy story you could put in a movie or something, just like
Kamar's just trying
Inspirational.
He's just trying to take scenes and mash them together to
it's
make a
good.
movie.
By the end of this, you'll have a whole plot.
Well, no, but if every time you did it, you had someone draw a picture, maybe you become a Zack Snyder, and it becomes a movie, and then you can say what they say in the scenes. But he was talking about, you got to, what's it going to look like, and then we'll figure out what they do.
I always thought when I was a kid, like in the moment, I was like, "Oh, this would be a great scene in a movie."
Yes.
You know?
Especially if it
I
takes.
forget-
It's building the plot around that
forget
scene,
what
then that's
scenes
tough.
those
Oh,
were.
I have a scene I just thought of today. And this one actually was the one, or was it the David Tell one? But have a character that you hate and loathe. So you'd have someone who, say, got molested, but then they would act out and poison all the dogs at a dog park.
What the fuck is going on here?
So you felt
What in the fuck?
you felt so sorry for them.
Yeah, but
'cause
then
they were
you-
a victim.
yeah, but then
they
all of a
acted out and did
sudden-
this horrible things. You're like, oh my god, wouldn't that just rip your soul out watching it? So everything is going great.
Guys, wait for Kamar's new film, 2027, Dog Park Murders.
No, it's just all these vignettes. It really don't make sense.
There's a fire scene where the curtains get
There's
closed.
the curtain closed, the toe, and the dogs.
Don't forget the bowler hats.
And the bowler.
This is going to be like The Room.
That's like a very Quentin Tarantino
You
dialogue.
know what you do? Each scene is a flashback to another flashback. It's just a
It's an
never-ending
Inception
I
type
like
deal.
that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So my only problem is when he stood his ground on Bloodbath, because that's been a real point of contention last week, and he sounded like Don Lemon all of a sudden.
I disagree. Just hear me out. When Joe made it seem like Joe was like, it is the most egregious media slur ever, and then he played the clip back, and I was like, it wasn't as egregious as Hate was making it seem, but it was nowhere near as unegregious as Joe was making it seem.
He was saying the automobile industry will be a bloodbath if we don't put tariffs on the Chinese cars they're building in Mexico.
That might have been what he was saying. The way he worded it did not sound like that.
But they played a clip of Don Lemon and everyone using bloodbath all the
of
time.
course, yeah.
And the
word bloodbath isn't the problem. It's that it's coming from the president who's already done January
wait a minute,
6th and all of
we're
that
saying
shit.
bloodbath is an accepted term.
No,
and all of a
stop,
sudden
stop.
when he uses it, it's a term of violence.
No, you're forgetting the problem, okay? And this is from Donald Trump's former Secretary of Defense. From his mouth, he said, quoting Donald Trump, "If I had my way, I would shoot protesters in the streets of D.C." This is from the
Donald
mouth.
Trump said that.
Donald Trump
the ones
said
that
this.
were protesting for him,
No, the ones that were protesting against him.
obviously.
Yeah, he's not going to
Well,
shoot
he's not
people.
going to shoot
He's not gonna
people in
shoot
MAGA
bro-
hats, you fucking idiot.
Go out there and gun him down.
That's some Kaiser.
Kill all the dogs in the dog park.
That's
the scene in the movie.
That's some Kaiser Soze
No, yeah,
shit.
but again-
I showed him what it means to be a real asshole.
And I'm not, Kamar, the point I'm making here is I'm not nitpicking. I'm saying this is from the mouth of Donald Trump.
Well, you don't know that. How do you know that this guy's telling the truth?
Oh, he never said this. This guy said he said this.
I watched an interview with the former Secretary of Defense where he
Yeah.
said this is what Donald Trump said. So yes,
He
I guess it's
paraphrased.
hearsay.
He paraphrased.
It's hearsay.
Fine, Simon.
Well, you think because he's the Secretary of Defense, it makes him less likely to lie?
Yeah, I guess that's my point. Yeah.
Okay, maybe. I mean,
think
maybe.
Matt feels betrayed right now. 'Cause
No, I
he's
think my
coming
point
out
is
of nowhere.
no. My point is very
Chop his
simple. Like
knees
a
out.
guy that Trump chose to be his Secretary of Defense. You realize that, right? You choose your Secretary of Defense. It's not like that's not an elected position. So a guy that Donald Trump chose, then worked for him, and you're forgetting too. Everyone Donald Trump chose quit, or he ostracized them and then made them.
Well,
Am I wrong about that?
this is the example. Then what I'm trying to say is that the bloodbath has now turned into one of those moments where half the people think he's going to kill everyone, and half the people he's saying what he's going to do to save the auto industry.
It was a bad choice of word only because of what went down when he didn't speak on January 6th.
I think
that's
it's track
the-
record again. Like if Obama says it's going to be a bloodbath, it kind of goes away because you're like, well, you know,
black.
despite he's a good. No, it doesn't- you're right. Yeah,
Oh, no, that's not why.
but do you get what I'm saying? Like if Bush had said bloodbath,
That's exactly what I'm saying is that it just wasn't a good word, but I didn't find it so crazy. And I didn't really think that like height was going way out of control. But what I did like was how he just shut Joe down.
well, no, I think it was
We're
good.
just not going to agree on this.
no, but it
January
was good.
6th was totally protesters. There's no police there at all. Like
What does that mean?
9/11 was not an inside job. Like he was just shutting it down. Not necessarily it isn't a total truth.
No, he was just saying we're going to sit here and go back and forth, not agreeing with each other for 25 minutes. Why waste the time?
Yeah, but I know he's being violent. Carry on.
I can't believe that we all heard the same interview, he actually thought that he was not talking about the auto industry.
Well, no,
That seems crazy
Half
to
the
me.
people think he's talking about violence, and there's just one of those random moments that comes along with the news cycle where two sides see totally different things.
Red and gray dress.
Yeah,
Blue.
You know, that's what the blue or white.
Kamar, you're also forgetting that he's riling up a group of people and that the word bloodbath was probably specifically chosen. Like
Regardless, half think it's horrible, half think it's like, and I don't even know what I think. Like, especially if the first time you ever hear it, it's the edited version, then that's imprinted on you. But if you hear even the Whatever Jamie played on it sounded weird too. It sounded edited. I don't even know anymore. But that was my only thing the way he was there. But let's see what happens. I'm not giving up my phone, but I'm of age, and we'll see how the kids respond. I guess I give this a 3.
Look, in the phone thing in closing, like we used to go to my cottage for a week at the end of every summer, and normally my phone would stay in my bag. I might take it out, take a few photos, maybe a video, but like same with you. Like we weren't checking our, you know what I mean? We're very capable of, I mean, we grew up without
but
them.
We grew up without phones.
Yeah, I get it.
It's
I'm not
totally
saying,
different.
I'm going on to the adult thing that he's saying. Like I am capable of moving this thing to the side.
For a bit. This phone runs my life.
Kamar, if it weren't for gambling, I could honestly, I could go
Don't-
without
don't
my
you-
phone for
don't you
hours a
book
day.
Do you book your shows and stuff, or your
What shows?
your quiz nights and stuff on your
all-
computer?
No, everything is done. I have nothing to do. It's always the same night, the same time. I don't have to do anything.
I wonder how hard it would be to function without a phone.
But why would you need to if it's not a problem for you?
I agree.
I just get a date book, I guess, and write stuff down, but I can't write.
I mean, you're forgetting too, like as an adult, it is very helpful. The calendar is wildly helpful. I have everyone's birthdays in it. I have all sorts of shit in it. Having my email just pop up, that's wildly helpful. Knowing that I have a bill to pay right away, like, oh,
What's
Sorry, go- no,
What's
no, go
wildly insidious is how you're also captive by Apple. Like if Samsung were to have some crazy advancement, you'd
but
be,
Apple's getting, you know, Apple's getting sued right now for
Sued?
antitrust.
well, just for sucking too. I mean,
No, but
I'm happy.
This is a huge lawsuit. If they lose, which I hope they will, it opens up the game massively, massively. They might even cut them into multiple companies.
But-
That's never happening.
But
What am I
just
saying?
the way your relationship with Apple has progressed, it'd be very difficult to switch. Don't you think? I give you the top of the line Samsung 2024, like reasonable to what you like. Would you switch?
I thought that PC was going to be a problem. It wasn't.
So you were.
I was. That's a Mac right
So-
there, right? So when we got that, I was like,
and,
"Fuck!"
and
it's
you
gonna
were
be-
a little apprehensive because
Yeah,
you were
because I was like,
familiar
fuck,
with
I've
Apple.
just been using Apple for the last decade, but I was like, I have used a PC before and I got into it. It's
So basically, the only thing that's keeping me here is, because they're all evil. My contacts, phone number. If I lost, because as long as you have your SIM card, you get a new phone. It comes back.
Here's the thing.
because of the cloud, right?
here's the thing. We're on 3 different spectrums here. Simon is not gonna learn new tricks. Simon's not the type to go out and get a Samsung unless it was the most cutting edge. Like if it had a hologram that came up and it was just so much better than an iPhone. Simon's not gonna go and learn the new shit.
He would not.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. You are like in the middle where if it was super
Well, I see others with it. I don't want a green text bubble.
No, I get it, but what I'm saying is like if Android did come out with the hottest, most cutting edge shit,
Blue text.
I could see you getting it. I'm the type where I have no problem adapting to new. I'm just that much younger than you guys.
Yep. Then there's 3 different school of thought.
I give hate 3.5.
I'll give him a 3. The whole Trump thing really, it almost drags it down a whole point because he just seems so unreasonable. But
Well, hold on. Wait. He believed what he believed. Joe believed what he believed. Joe also wasn't going to budge. So what's the difference?
well, because it's clearly he was talking about the auto industry.
To you, he clearly was.
No. If they want to say bad word, not a good choice of word for him, could be construed in another way, maybe, but this is the way it was because we can hear the whole interview.
You think
now.
it's a dog whistle? That's what you're sort of hinting at?
No.
I think he was.
Listen,
Anyway,
Kamar, what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. Trump knows that he has a lot of people on his side that would love a civil war. He knows that there are people on his.
I don't think anyone wants a civil war. I really don't.
You don't think right wing extremists want a civil war?
No, man.
I think. Okay, see, this is the game you play where left wing extremists are super dangerous. Right wing extremists just want to be left alone with their guns, right?
And
That's
you
what you said.
you said that
Maybe they do. Maybe they do.
every word was written. I could totally see Trump just like off the cuff.
Here's
He's
my
talking
point.
about
though.
the auto
Hold on,
industry.
hold on.
It's like if you guys
Hold on.
don't get in line, it's
Sure.
going to be a bloodbath out there.
Sure, you can't. This is the thing, though. He lives in a Trump's a smart guy world.
No, I don't. I like him. I like
No,
him.
that's fine. But I've
I
heard
like
you.
him.
But you have to think he's somewhat smart,
He has to be.
right?
He cannot be dumb as Justin Trudeau.
Okay, so my point remains that if you think he's half smart, which he obviously is. He became the president. He's a fucking billionaire. He's obviously not stupid. I think a lot of it's by design. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And I think the word bloodbath.
Well, he is branding and coining phrases and nicknaming people.
All I'm saying, Simon, is there were probably people on his side that when he said bloodbath, they weren't thinking auto industry. They were like, yes, bloodbath. Let's kill everyone on the fucking.
You know what? Maybe you're right. I'll only take it down to 0.5 for his.
I was going to save this for the post show, but now that we're here, he might be going down tomorrow, eh? Or yesterday for listeners.
Who? Trump?
Yeah, because he owes $500 million and he has to pay it by tomorrow, and he doesn't have it because all his wealth is in buildings, and they could seize and sell Trump Tower. It'd be like cutting off his dick. Downtown is that wild?
There's so many Trump towers.
I don't know. The one. And I don't know if he recovers from that. He still has Mar-a-Lago to hide.
But he has, hold on. He has a choice. He could sell a different Trump tower. He could sell a Trump casino. He could liquidate.
No, he has to sell like 5 of them.
Sure. My point though is
no, it's not him selling. They're seizing tomorrow. He would have already sold them to pay the money. That's why Don Lemon asked him, did you ask Elon for money?
even that doesn't matter. Donald Trump could go to the Koch brothers tomorrow and say, lend me fucking $600 million. I'm good for it.
I'd say he had to go to them on Friday.
Oh, that's what he was talking about. I thought he was asking if he gave a political donation.
No. He needs, and so
So he asked him for money. Oh, I see.
And what they're saying is, this isn't enough. Yeah, sure, we're taking all $500 million of his assets, but now he's beholden to go to someone foreign. So he's influenced now. So it's even more he can never be president.
Elon probably doesn't have a lot of money in cash either. You know what I'm saying? It's all tied up in stocks.
Who has $500 million in cash?
Elon could liquidate a small amount of his Tesla stock tomorrow. Or
you can't, because it fucks up everything when he does that.
It's weird.
You're really not supposed to do that.
It's an interesting dilemma when you owe $500 million and you have to pay it.
First of all, he paid $34 billion in taxes. He had to sell Tesla stock to do so. It did nothing to the stock. He probably has enough Dogecoin or Bitcoin that he could just liquidate that and give Donald Trump fucking.
We don't give. No one's going to give anyone. Here's $500 million.
I mean, listen, if you
Well,
think he's going to be the next president,
the
you might give
American
him.
government gave Elon like $5 billion
already.
or something just
Trump's
to
Trump,
get
not
him
the
out
government.
of
Simon, that's nothing. Do you know what they just gave Microsoft?
what?
Like $1 trillion for the chips.
All right.
Well,
That's
they
a
didn't
taste.
get any. This was just like to bail him out.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Microsoft just got the biggest government windfall potentially in the history of government windfalls.
That's a taste of the post, Joe. Join the Patreon if you want any more of that.
Goodbye.
Let's move on.
21-23, Gary Clark Jr.
This is going to be a quickie.
That's what
That's what Susan Santos said.
what she
Hi-yo!
that's what she said. Because so he's finished a new album. It's called JPEG Raw.
That was weird. Eh?
You know why? It's because he's a photographer. That just dawned on me. He really is that deep into photography. He named his fucking album JPEG Raw. That's so funny.
So he finished an album, and he says he's a hard act to put on a shelf. You know, I'm not a country, and then he referenced Stevie Wonder and Prince, and like those guys have written timeless songs.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder and Gary Clark Jr. hasn't.
First of all, Prince might be one of the most talented musicians to
In my
ever
opinion, I
walk
think
the
he is.
fucking
In
earth.
my opinion, I think he is.
Like, there's
In my
no
opinion, I think
yeah,
he is.
I don't know that.
I think he's like a Beethoven of our time.
I'm in full agreement with you. So I think for anyone to be like, I would never use Prince's name. And no disrespect. There's very few people.
None. But his biggest song, Gary Clark Jr., is a cover of "Come Together," which he did for Justice League from the Beatles.
I just rewatched Friday Night Lights, the series.
Yeah.
Because Gillis dropped it on the Parks. Soundtrack? Does it have a soundtrack? No, it's something else.
No, that was something else.
Forrest Gump.
And he's in one of the episodes playing in
guitar.
the bar. They're like, Gary Clark Jr. I was like, oh shit.
And he's an amazing.
And this is like
Listen,
20 years ago.
He's really
you know?
talented.
he's
There's no
amazing
doubt.
when he's out there, but he's never written a. Yeah. So the weirdest part is when he talks about. Oh, did I write his name down? The guy who wrote the song "I'm Alive." And I remember, I'm alive. Joe thinks it's the greatest song ever.
Yeah.
He plays
Oh,
it for
yeah,
Gary
yeah.
Clark Jr. Gary Clark Jr.'s mind is blown. Says, I've never heard of that either. But we remember when Brian Simpson, who was the one who introduced Joe, they had him on, they played another song, and it wasn't any good.
Yeah.
And the one hit wonder is usually a banger.
Yeah.
It's really hard for someone to say that. And I don't think that guy was ever going to be a star or he was a real asshole.
There's nothing wrong with a one-hit wonder,
Nope.
though,
No,
because
of course not.
it's that moment in time. You don't need a whole album. We listen to songs one at a time now, you know? Like,
Well, Kamar, I wanted to go back because you were like, he couldn't be put on a shelf. That's such a weird, archaic. There's no shelves anymore.
Yeah, but if you just,
you
if you
just
imagine,
can't categorize him.
No, I
Yeah.
get it, but that doesn't matter on Spotify.
No, but
You have a
it's-
hit. You have a hit. It's a hit, right? Like,
I don't think he
well,
was.
that's what I think about music, but that's part of the reason why I like Kanye. It's a hit, so it must be good. But it's a hit, that doesn't mean it's good. So that's,
no, but,
that's popular music is interesting that way.
yeah, but Kamar, I think my point is like, I think we look at it in a weird way. Like if you wrote a song tomorrow and you got 1 million hits on it, that's a hit, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But am I an amazing musician?
No, but we're not talking about that. We're just talking about hits, right? Like
I think we're confused because we are talking about amazing musicians. Prince, amazing musician. Gary Clark Jr., amazing.
but how many hits?
musician.
How many hits do you think Prince had? Like number one.
Nothing
Don't-
compares to you.
I think he had like 10.
Let's get
but do
crazy.
you-
10 hits.
nothing compares to you. Do you think it was number one when he performed it?
No, it was not.
Not a chance.
I know it was not.
That's what I'm saying. So same. Other than Purple Rain,
Songwriting and performance.
sure. Listen, what I'm saying though is like just because you're an incredible musician also doesn't mean you're going to have a number one hit. That's my point.
Yes.
Like
yes,
Prince,
that's-
we just agreed that Prince might be the best musician of our time, but wasn't necessarily that he was hitting them out.
That's not a defining metric to if something's
That's what I was going with.
good if they win an award.
But
or
I'm
not.
sure Prince had a bunch of hits.
You'd be surprised, dude.
I don't know if the Doors were ever even nominated for a Grammy.
I'll look right now.
Well, for sure he had the Batman thing. That
You know,
was a big hit.
I got in an argument with someone once about Prince and Bob Seger, and Bob
He
Seger, I
was
think
in one of the Batman movies.
Bob Seger, I think, has had more hits than Prince.
Well, Bob Seger has had a lot of fucking hits.
He has,
man. The
man.
guy's a fucking
Old-time rock and roll.
musical genius.
Can't tell if I had not told you that song, you would not know one of his songs.
Bob Seger, I
She's like the wind.
love Bob.
Yeah, okay,
Seger.
okay.
All right, so Prince had 5 number one hits.
That's
I mean, that's a lot of number one hits.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not. I agree.
And
But I would have thought
can
he
you
had
na-
more.
And no,
So would I.
No, but he had them.
But
Not-
even then,
not
can you
with the band.
can you
Well, he had a
name?
band, but he-
I think
he's
you.
everything.
I think you could only name me 2 of Prince's number one hits.
Let's Get Crazy, 1999.
1999. Nope. Let's Get
Kiss?
Crazy. Yep. Kiss. Nope.
Really?
When Doves Cry.
When Doves Cry, Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Well, I said so. Hold on. I said there was 2, right? So when Doves Cry and Purple Rain were the 2 that I was like, you guys will probably
But
get
Let's
those.
Get Crazy
You
is
got
one?
Let's Get Crazy. Yeah. So there's
Raspberry
2 more.
Beret?
Nope. Take Me With You, and I Would Die for You.
I would. Oh my God.
the
I
ba-
would-
the
I would-
Batman's not on there, right?
No.
I mean, it's
Bad Dance. That's the worst Prince and still genius.
but it was a fucking hit.
It was big time.
I think, but the point I was trying to make, even though he had 5, is even the biggest art, even the artist that you hold in your head as like one of the biggest artists, number one hits are tough to come by. They're not easy.
Not anymore.
Well, no, who knows? Because now it's the industry is just
Now they're super easy.
No,
to come
well,
by.
so in Simon's defense, I actually, for trivia, I went back 30 years through every year and looked at the number one hits. And you are correct that like now there's probably 30 to 40 number one hits a year. Whereas in the 90s, 80s, you might have had 10.
Well, there was only one place to become a hit.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
there's
2 or 3. There was the radio,
You,
MTV.
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
though.
I agree.
Now the internet just pumps them out
Yeah.
like
No, and there's a new, and it's quick too. Like now,
you find that guy singing that song about the government there. You'll never see that guy in a million
Oliver
years.
Anthony.
Yeah, whatever his name is. You would never see something like that in a million years on the music video, or it wouldn't be picked up on the radio at like
no, and even then, like Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You, the Bodyguard soundtrack.
that's Dolly Parton. She had that as a number one hit, and then another number one hit.
I get it.
Making Dolly Parton a goat.
My point though is when that song came out, it was number one for a year and a half.
that's insane.
The
That's
album,
insane.
It's a beautiful song, though.
yeah.
It's a great song, but a year and a half? Come on.
That's the Whitney Houston version.
Yeah.
That
Simon-
means that nothing beat it for a year and a half.
Yeah, it's
That's
just on top.
ridiculous.
It was the
And
best-selling album for a year and a half.
But the movie was badass too.
The movie was terrible.
Oh, the scene with the samurai sword might be the cheesiest fucking
Oh, it's
thing I've
such
ever
a
seen.
cheesy
Do you not
fucking
remember
movie.
that scene?
Have you not rewatched that?
It was Jungle Fever coming on.
Okay, you know what? Why?
It was
Why?
it was so progressive, right?
Why? Because
I
it was
mean,
an
I think it was-
interracial
Interracial,
couple.
yeah.
It
I
was
think
the
it was
90s.
after Jungle Fever.
I know. Jungle Fever was also a movie. Spike Lee, shout out to him.
Yeah, I'm saying this was after Jungle Fever, no? The Bodyguard? I don't
Yeah,
know.
probably. It was 93, I think. 92? Anyway, listen, Gary Clark Jr., music is not an easy. People act like, you know how many talented people there are out there that are never going to make it in the music industry? Susan Santa, perfect example. She's obviously like, they spent the end of the episode being like, she might be one of the most talented musicians ever.
Just trying to put her up.
Well, I just listen, you know,
I'm sure she does fine for herself. She probably has a great life. She goes and plays gigs. She stays at home with her husband and her kid.
and like we say, it's tough
she
to
probably
get a
has
number one
great
hit,
life.
but she's got a bunch of great songs.
listen, if you can live off your art, you've made it. That's how I look at it. I don't think you disagree?
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that.
No, I can't. I cannot.
You've totally made it. That's why I don't like. Listen, Suzanne Santos didn't get the normal Rogan bump, but I think she does just fine for herself.
Like I said, if she doesn't have another job, if she's just supporting herself off her music, then in my opinion, she's fucking made it.
Yeah.
And
That's
good
where
for
I've
her.
got to agree at the end of the day. Fame is not connected to success.
I think we'd all agree that fame is the worst. Like Gary Clark Jr. said it. He's like, I should have gone the Daft Punk Kiss route and just gone. I don't know if you guys know this too, but when Kiss got unmasked, that was a fucking trick. They got tricked into doing that.
Really?
Go on.
So the photographer was there set up. They were ready to take the shoot. And I guess someone on set was like, yeah, the record label called and they want you guys to do no makeup. And they were like, yeah, I don't think so. Like, this is our thing. And we're not. They're like, no, we're telling you. And they tricked them into it.
Who is they though?
Whoever was, I think it was Rolling Stone.
Magazine?
Yeah. Because I think they were the first ones to photograph them.
Yawn was at the helm, fucking
Yawn.
unmasking
Yeah.
Kiss.
I'm pretty sure that was a story I remember.
We write that down.
We'll
'cause
have to check that.
Go ahead.
We'll have to verify
We're gonna
that
have to
story.
get to the bottom
Why?
of that one. Well, no, but what was his motive to
Because
sabotage Kiss into
To have a
Because it's the hugest fucking. If
Clickbait.
no one
Sell a lot-
yes,
no, you
exactly.
sell a lot of magazines.
That seems like the most
Clickbait.
obvious fucking thing in
but
the
it
world.
sort of ruined
not
their
clickbait.
career, right?
Didn't ruin their career. It just made
Sell
them less
magazines is
anonymous.
clickbait. That's what the cover is. The original clickbait.
How did you say it ruined their career? Gene Simmons is still well known and rich.
Because I don't like those guys. I mean, they are rich, but
Kiss are terrible.
Ace Frehley was the band. The rock and roll side to it. The side that I sort of. Those guys were nerds.
I
don't
hate
think they ever
Kiss.
drank or did drugs or anything. But Ace Frehley was flying wild.
Besides the main guy there,
Simmons.
Gene Simmons, I don't know what any of the other guys look like. So the unmasking didn't work. You know what I mean?
It did though, because then you knew who Gene Simmons looked like.
No, Gene Simmons did like a whole thing afterwards where he did reality shows.
Yeah, but he
and this
might
and that.
not have if he had never been unmasked. He might have remained.
Well, he would have made a
anonymous.
lot less money if he had done that.
Well, we know Gene Simmons.
You know
wasn't
who
into that.
never got unmasked was Slipknot.
Yeah, he unmasked himself.
Well, first of all, it's like 12 different people.
What about
Corey
Guar?
Taylor is the
What about
lead singer.
Guar?
Guar just played the Bronson Center. Do
Yeah, I
you
know.
this?
Yeah, I
I
saw.
missed
Yeah.
that. No, Corey Taylor's lead.
Oh,
singer.
he
They
is?
have all unmasked.
You know a lot about Slipknot?
I like Slipknot.
You like
the fuck
Slipknot?
outta here.
I like
Really?
their masks. I find the whole thing very like scary
I
and weird.
could not listen to a full album of Slipknot, but put one of their songs on just as a heavy
Kamar's
metal
like an
banger.
undercover Linkin Park fan.
He's tried so hard and got so
No,
far.
when
That's
they came
not
out,
Linkin Park.
Yes, it is.
when
It
I
is?
came in,
Really?
when
Wow.
Linkin Park came out, it was like this rap rock thing has gone too far.
Yeah.
I hated rap.
I
rock.
hate rap
Fucking
rock.
hate it.
But they made a couple songs that I do like, and his story, if that's programming on me, makes it more interesting because he took his life. There's a couple songs that I fuck with.
Well, did he? Because the whole story.
Exactly,
is
exactly.
He was getting pretty close to unraveling some pedophile rings.
Joe confirmed we knew he knows he can't golf because he'd want to beat Jamie once, one hole, just one more hole, and we'll do it. And that was our suspicion. He admitted it to Gary.
Can short people golf? Is that a
Yes,
hindrance?
Yes. No, it's fine.
You're sure?
It makes no difference.
Absolutely, absolutely.
No,
You
fair.
fit- you
I've
fit
never
your clubs. To
I haven't
your-
golfed
yeah.
that much, so I don't know. I was
I'm
just,
sure there are. Gary
think-
Player was a short guy, one of the best golfers
Okay.
ever.
Do tall people
small.
have an advantage at all?
I don't
Yeah, I
think
think so. I
no,
think
I don't
so.
think so.
I think so.
Why? What's the advantage?
Just you have a bigger swing plane.
That's what I was thinking,
It's still,
yeah.
it's still technique. It's
Yeah, yeah,
still
I agree. Yeah, I
technique.
get it.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike, who's the Canadian guy? Mike Weir is a tiny
Yeah.
man. Other guys are like Ernie Els was 6'4".
Yeah, he's a massive dude, yeah.
I
DJ
just-
Singh was pretty big,
It's all
too.
technique,
I
right?
don't think being taller is any advantage in golf.
Because personally,
You feel it is though. You think it's a better advantage in hockey,
Well, it is in hockey.
except for tell that to Martin St. Louis.
what about
In
skateboarding,
hockey,
Simon?
you need reach. In hockey, what? In skateboarding,
Skateboarding,
no,
yeah.
I wouldn't think it made a
Really?
difference.
I always like,
smaller, better in skateboarding?
no, I live by taller, better. I lived by that. Everyone I knew that was Joe Buffalo, perfect example.
Just the lanky
pop for days.
You get strength,
Matt
but you're
Ellis,
not too
pop-
heavy.
Yeah, I don't know what it
Light on
was.
your
Yeah,
feet.
I'm not talking about like big dudes. I just mean like tall, skinny, lanky guys. Always had pop for days. They could flip the board.
Are you watching that Physical 100 on Netflix? You never watched that.
don't.
First
Is
of
it
all,
good?
it's insane. It's so insane, man.
Oh, really?
Okay, first of all, the show is they take the people with the best physiques or like the best athletes in
Their field.
Korea,
Yeah.
wherever it is. They're all like Olympic people or UFC fighters or whatever.
Yep.
And then they go and they compete in like all these crazy things. And they're not like normal. They're out there like wrestling balls from each other. And like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's great.
Is it like gladiators?
No, they compete against each other.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like
And,
gladiators. Oh no, I guess they were competing against the gladiators. Yeah.
You're talking about American Gladiator?
Yeah. Well, sometimes you were competing against the other person, but against the gladiators, I guess.
No, you're always competing against the gladiators.
Yeah, but sometimes it was a timed event. So like you were like if you made it through the gauntlet faster, you had to make it through the gauntlet faster than your opponent, right? So you were competing against both in a way.
Yes, okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, they're actually.
I got you. Okay, they're wrestling each other.
It's really good.
Okay.
You should watch it.
All right, I'll check it
Sorry,
out.
go ahead, Kamar. Are we done with him? Because we've been.
No, I've two or three more things. He talked about
Do we-
Suits interfering with his stuff, like, and he's just, I'm just going to tour and do it, not worry about them putting these clips up or whatever. And the best example of Suits interference is from the Zack Snyder episode, where he's like, their only note on Batman versus Superman is that they didn't want them to be against each other.
Yeah, but Ari brought up something in Parks and in the Parks episode where he was like, he talked about Suits interfering. Can you grab that nug for me, Simon? He talked about Suits interfering, and he was like, well, that's actually an example of where they probably were right.
That Batman and Superman shouldn't fight.
No, not in that example. He gave an look.
I'm just saying that's asinine. Like the whole point of it is for them to be each other, so it doesn't matter.
yeah,
if
don't
you,
do the verses if you're not going to have.
It's
the
not
verses.
a note you can do here.
Then just do Justice League and have them both in the Justice League.
Same side.
I would like to explain something
Superman
though.
and Batman.
You'll never ever hear about the time that the suit got it right, because no director will ever go on Joe Rogan and say some suit came on and
There
gave me a
has to be,
great.
and there has to be some
Precisely. There,
Of course, some of these directors are crazy. Some of the notes must be essential. You know
that's what
I
I'm
mean?
saying.
Yeah.
I think we're also forgetting too, like Hollywood really is a numbers game, and there really is like, not stats. What's the fucking word I'm looking for? Metrics. You know what I mean? There are certain things where, like, tried and tested throughout time in Hollywood, this has worked.
Yeah.
And you might, like, when I went to acting school, I remember them telling me so many things that I was like, this is so cheesy. Like, there's no fucking way you want me to do this. And I remember one teacher was like, try it your way. We'll record it, and then you're going to try it my way. And we did it both ways. And sure enough, what played on screen, Simon's so pissed off that I'm
No,
even talking.
I'm listening.
What played on screen, he was right. And as cheesy as it seemed, like from a acting standpoint, listening to him say, like, do it this
Yeah,
way,
he
I was
just
like,
understood how things are portrayed on camera.
that's it. And how it. And so there's things that, you know,
That's the only thing I marvel. You know, my uncle, is in movies and television.
yeah, you did Umbrella.
And he just happens to be in town this weekend. But I was just talking to him because I think about you have to sit there for 8 hours. Then they call you up and you got to walk out and you got to act like your mother just got killed in front of you and you're just distraught to dead.
Yeah.
6 times, 7 times.
Yeah.
No matter what's going on, in that moment you have to show up and do that. And I find that's wild. And no one can tell you at that point how to do it. This is what we want from you. You must know how to do it because you're here. We hired you, so figure it out. And some people just act like they think it's just second nature, and some people do the Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah,
Like
immersive.
totally immersive. My uncle, he was like, I don't know. It's all just about people being nice. I think it's so amazing that they can.
It really seems too like so much is filmed out of sequence that how could you ever really get like a feel for?
Well,
the
you're not doing it
character you're
momentum-wise,
playing?
yeah, you're
This
just-
is what I mean. You're not doing it in
Well, they do that for a reason, though. Is they shoot so they try to shoot the most important stuff in the middle, so that everyone's warmed up. So that everyone's warmed up. Everyone's been on set.
the heavy scenes. And
That's it.
whatnot.
The
I
heavy.
assume that they did it based on location. If a
That's
bunch
it.
of things are filmed in the same location but at different times, you're obviously going to do it all in one shot.
Yeah, they do that too. They try. Yeah, if you have one location, you have to nail every shot in that location on that day or 2 or 3, however long you're. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
it
correct.
seems very disjointed, and I don't think it would seem like. I don't know if it would be as much fun as you would think it would be.
Well, I've said this
It just
100
makes it,
times.
when a good movie does come out, it's very impressive.
I've said this 100 times on this show. Film is the director's medium, and stage is the actor's medium.
Well, speaking of movies that should have
Because the
never
director
been
just
made,
says, start the show.
Well, no, it's the director's piecing it all together, and they know the whole like.
But
and-
during a play, you can't direct someone on stage.
No.
They've just got to go for
but
it.
it's also you have to be in it for 2 hours in the play. You have to just be on for 2 hours. Whereas
What if you walk off stage? Do you think a director can say, do this more? It's still, you're just like a hockey game without a coach.
No,
You
I think
guys
there's
know
someone-
what the game plan is. You got to go out there. You cut scene 4, you're off.
no, I bet there's
You
someone
know what I mean?
backstage giving some direction.
I wonder.
I'd almost guarantee it actually.
And and once your part is done in a play, you're
You're done for the night.
just in the green room, whatever.
okay, we're done.
He's got one more.
Oh, for the love of God!
Well, I know he has one more.
No,
Let
it
me
was
know.
just that he was talking about, I've got to work more because the band's bigger. So you know what I mean? I would like to just go out once a week here, once a week there, but now I've got a bigger band. So it's like the success dumps the work
Well,
on
it's
you.
the whole Tom
and there's
Segura syndrome.
It's a weird balance. Yeah, heavy is the crown.
I also got to say, like, from watching so many bands and groups come through Babylon and Ritual, you know, you really got to tip your hat to the rock bands. Like, dude, the amount of shit that they set up and break down for every, like, dude, and a lot of those guys perform for no one early
Well,
on.
they have roadies. That's the,
No, I'm talking about the opening bands that like that don't have roadies that are playing for 15 or 20 people
Are they
early.
just like the preliminary fighters?
Yeah, but Kamar, the preliminary fighters show up. These guys have to set up a fucking drum kit. They got to fucking.
I think they're very more similar than you think. Because you've got to go out there and have some guy beat the shit out of you in front of nobody in an empty arena, or you perform your song with your buddies.
Kamar, what I more
I'd
meant
rather
was
play a song for nobody than get my ass kicked.
It's not
Maybe
the-
it's better to get your ass kicked in front of nobody.
it's not the performing for no one, Kamar. It's that like if I'm a rapper, I can show up with a microphone and I'm fucking ready
Oh,
to
the
go.
the
I'm talking
production.
about the whole like, dude. If you're a traveling band performing for no one, yeah, you have a fucking van full of gear that you're lugging around everywhere.
I would assume you just plug into the system and use what they have, and they say
no,
can
because you have
use
your own amps. And
Yeah, you have your
shit.
own, yeah,
sound.
everything.
I'm sorry,
You don't want to fuck with that.
I don't know anything.
Kamar, remember that back room at Babylon where the bathtub was with the ice? You have to remember that.
That's out of a horror movie. You just
Yes, yes, it was out of a
back room.
Yes, it was.
Allegedly, I was maybe in that back room, but no, that's not a good place. That place.
No,
In the
but-
bathtub full of ice.
well, it's gone now. There's a dollar store,
It's
right?
a dollar store now. Yes.
yeah.
My point though, Kamar, was like
Statute limitations.
you remember the size of that room.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, there were rock shows. There were rock shows. There were rock shows where that room was just filled with gear, top to bottom. Like just nuts. Anyway,
Speaker wires, cables, cabinets, all nine.
he's despicable. It's tough dealing with him. If it's not in his notes, he's out. Right? That's how this works.
I like how they said
He's
this.
been in that room many times, so he's trying to get around the conversation.
No one can put me in that room. There's no evidence.
We've all had sex in there, Kamar. Don't worry.
Bert Kreischer likes the Sphere. And
Cried his eyes out.
And the
You
best
said you only had one more note.
if you hear Pat McAfee and the guy's shit
Oh, I know, it's
on their
hilarious.
experience of U2, it's like U2 more like you don't ever want to see the show. They bag on it so good. And anyways, yeah, I like Gary Walker Jr.
It's Clark. It's Gary Clark Jr. I don't know who Gary Walker, Jr. is, but Dynamite.
Well, and one more thing. It seems like his dad's showed up and just like, we're living the good life.
I like Jerry Clarkson as much as the next guy. I give it a 2.
I give it a 2 with the guitar lesson was sort of weird.
I loved his dad. It reminded me of what my dad would have been like if I was famous in
Let's
like my
go.
20s. Yeah, he would have been there fucking. I give it a 2. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break, probably pay a bill, and we'll be right back. We're back. Thank you so much to BetterHelp. Be sure and go and check them out. Link in the description. Kamar, name and a number.
21, 22, Protect Our Parks 11.
I believe that they spoke about Roadhouse. Whether
They
they
did.
did or not, we're going to speak about Roadhouse. Did you? You didn't watch it, Matt, but you watched it, Kamar.
Yes.
It might go down as the worst
I had a
movie
feeling that was coming.
ever
Yeah.
made. It is so fucking bad. I'll agree with Kamar that he's cool in it.
Conor McGregor.
No.
Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal. And some of the fighting scenes are okay, but like, you know, when you ask yourself, like, obviously a lot of work went into this movie.
Okay.
It cost them a lot of money, it took
Yeah.
people's time, and yet they went with a plot that was a script that was so
Bad, cheesy.
horrible. It just boggles my mind. Who are they trying to appeal to? Like, did you see the original Roadhouse?
Yeah,
I mean,
Swayze.
this should be the movie game, but whatever. The original Roadhouse has something to it. I don't know what it is. It's not a good movie, but it's got that grittiness to it, you know?
Yeah.
In the bar. Like Halima said it right. My wife said it right away as we were watching. She's like, you can't have it in a tiki bar. There's nothing scary about a tiki bar. There's nothing
It's a good point.
down and dirty about
true.
a
You need,
tiki
like, a
bar.
dingy
You
biker
need a
bar.
behind a grate where they're
Yeah.
throwing bottles with
Yeah.
Jeff Healey playing in the background.
It's true.
It was
a
bad.
good point.
It was bad, man. It was really bad.
So
Sorry.
Simon, you're forgetting that like you don't, and I often do this too. We're not like, I don't think they're selling it to you. Like I have a buddy named James, nice guy, salt of the earth. He's a father. He's 2 years older than me, so he's younger than you guys, slightly older than me. This guy loves trash. Like every movie this guy tells me is incredible is garbage.
Does he love Kid Rock?
Probably.
I like trash too.
I do
I
too.
watch some of the trashiest shit.
Okay.
This is like a big budget movie that they just managed to fumble at every opportunity.
I think just as Conor McGregor. I think everything, the guy constantly apologizing as he's getting his ass kicked is sort of cute. Like it could have been a playful reimagination. I said, but Conor McGregor's character is just so
Too hot?
over the top. Bob McHenry's in it, eh? Did you know that? It was
Bob
Yeah.
Menery.
Yeah,
McHenry.
he's terrible. I mean, he was better than I thought he would
Conor
be.
was
but
the worst.
Conor was the worst. Conor's character in it is the worst. Like
He's not an actor.
And in their discussion, he said acting is harder than fighting.
well,
And,
for
and
him.
that's where this all came from.
The you know, when a fighter is in a movie, they usually play a bad guy.
Yeah.
And they never have any dialogue. They're just fighting.
Yep.
That's what they do.
Yep.
They gave him way too much of a role in the movie, and he is not an actor, and it just came across weird.
Their mistake is that they should have just they should have let his part be largely not freestyle. What's the word I'm looking for? Improv. He's better off the cuff. You want him to just play Conor McGregor. Who the
kind of-
fuck is that guy?
He didn't, you know, he said he amped it down for the movie.
No,
but
he played like a caricature of himself.
yeah, he could have been cool. He could have been.
He could have been cool. It could have been a cool movie.
So yes, he ruined it all. And Jake Gyllenhaal, it's like watching yourself on screen. You know, when he takes his shirt off, like it was like, is this AI? Oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy.
Anyways, we can move on now.
So, Kamar, did you like the movie? You didn't say anything. Simon said it was one of the worst pieces of shit ever. Are you saying that now?
Wonka was better.
Are you saying that now because Simon shat on it? Were you going to come in here and
No, we've
we-
already commiserated.
Yeah.
But you know the kind of movies I'll recommend people watch.
Yeah.
But I say it's a piece of shit movie, but you got to see it.
Yeah, he told us to watch The Voyeur.
Misleading
so-
the witness.
Yeah, but we forgot to ask why we should watch it.
No, I knew why, because he
Oh.
tried to send me the clip
told her.
first.
See, he just told Mary was like, he told me to watch this movie. And
Yeah, and she took me seriously.
Yeah.
I betrayed her.
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
But that's interesting segue, or subway rather, to when they're doing this podcast, he has done SNL.
Yeah.
So this is a big moment for me because he's gone on other shows, but this is just sort of like the record.
Yeah.
As far as I am in this universe of all these podcasts and people, what's said on this is we work it from there outwards. That Sydney Sweeney's in a week from now.
Yeah.
When the Time Warp brain, and she's 3 weeks ago now, and this came out yesterday.
Really?
That I have noticed so many podcasts doing this now where they just don't care that
They cannot. The
the
continuity.
time is way off.
You know what it dawned on me that we had never discussed? Joe Rogan is a huge entity. The amount of money they pay him, there has to be a legal team that has to go over every episode with a fine-tooth comb. And then it's probably re-edited.
No.
Really? The amount of liability in the States, you don't think? Someone doesn't say allegedly in a spot?
I don't know. I wouldn't think so, but you may be right.
Don Lemon over here.
Oh, we
Give a
forgot,
break. Find some
dude,
common
we
ground.
forgot to talk about the funniest part
me
in
Don
that
Lemon suck
interview
my dick.
where he says, "You want censorship?" And he's like, "No, I don't want censorship." "No, you do. You want it so bad you can taste it."
And then he laughed and laughed. I didn't bring those up because we were.
It was hilarious, man.
They were talking about possibly getting arrested for repeating a dirty joke in Scotland,
Yeah.
and hopefully that's not true. But it seems like it's because it sort of happened here already.
No one's gone to jail here for a joke. You said it sort of happened
No,
here,
the guy got fined.
Mike
if
Ward.
you don't pay the fine,
but he didn't get fined.
But
He ended
didn't
up
it
fighting
just
it.
happen again to somebody?
happened to a guy who didn't have so much money in Vancouver or something.
No, but just recently I thought something happened. No?
Listen, one is too many. I agree. The Mike Ward one is bad, but we're not throwing people in jail yet.
There's a three-way of guys who are coming who are totally like misogynistic, trucking, really bad coming to Ottawa. I actually don't think I want to go to the show.
But you will.
Well, if I know where it is and I can get them for free, but I wouldn't pay to see these guys.
Who are they?
One of the guys has been on Kill Tony, Sam. He's like a professional wrestler with a mustache. And anyways, it was JFK a good person? In our longing probe of like,
I think JFK was a good
You
person.
do.
I think he was a flawed person, just like everybody, and he had some crazy vices, but he was out there trying to not have nuclear war. He was, I think he was good, and that's exactly why he got murdered. Had he not been a good person, he'd still be around right now. That sounds fucking weird, eh?
Like Kamar was
Around
Martin
right
Luther
now.
King.
Yeah.
Was Martin Luther King Jr. a good person?
well, that's the argument, right? Because he's an adulterer.
He did the
But
same
he
shit.
did-
Yeah.
Forget the adultery for, you know what I mean? Because that,
No, but I'm saying they're painting the same picture.
Exactly.
Right? It's someone did all this work and then they're saying, yeah, but he was an adulterer. Or the same thing. Someone did all this, tried to do all this work. They both got killed by the government.
And man is just flawed
yeah, no
and
one's
he's just
fucking
flawed,
perfect.
so he had a sex addiction. Like,
and power.
get fucking over it. When it came down to the nitty gritty, to the whole rest of the industrial complex trying to push towards total nuclear annihilation, this guy said, "No fucking way, and I'll put my life on the line for it." That sounds like a pretty good fucking guy to me.
And people don't care if he fucked a bunch of girls and told him whatever he told him. To
Dude,
get him into
I don't
bed.
care what else you did if you stopped nuclear war. Like, come on, that buys you a little bit of...
I think we all kind of just live in the world where it's like, if you're the most powerful person in the world,
Them's the breaks.
see you getting your dick sucked
I
here and
would
there.
do it too.
Most presidents don't come out of their presidency being
Clean.
able to say that I did a good thing. And I'm being absolutely serious. Most of them do bad things. You don't hear about a lot of bad things they do, but they know that.
Are you talking
they
about
did
them on a personal level or are you talking about the government that they run?
No, I'm talking about like a guy like Obama, let's say.
So you're talking about the government that he ran? Like
Yeah, I
his
don't know
hands are-
him personally.
No, but that's what I'm
Yeah.
asking. Like,
I mean, I would assume, I don't know if Obama is a good person. Can you kill all those people in those drone strikes that you know are taking out like mass casualties that have nothing to do? He has to know that.
Yeah.
So that
my-
I don't think you're a good person then.
My question is more like, if you look at like a Jimmy Carter, I'm trying to think of maybe a president of the past who like,
Jimmy Carter was a great president.
He's my favorite.
but you said, did anyone leave the presidency saying I have no blood on my hands? And I was going to say Jimmy Carter, I believe under his presidency, the CIA was involved in a lot of shit that he might not necessarily have given the green light to or known was going on. But does that blood still go on his hands? I guess is my question to you.
Yeah.
Because that was my question, like his government versus him personally, right?
Yeah, understood. But why is Obama makes the decision to do those drone strikes?
I agree.
He's the last.
That's why I didn't want to use Obama, because I'm aware that he was.
So I don't know.
So I'm saying, like Jimmy Carter, if you find out that the CIA was involved in like 10 black ops that overthrew governments and caused like mass genocides in countries like Myanmar or fucking, wherever the fuck. But Jimmy Carter didn't have his finger on the button. He didn't even know what was going on.
I mean, you're the boss. You should know what's going on, I guess.
Yeah, but I think with what we know now, I think we know that just isn't the case, right?
Yeah. So no, he's probably clean. But I don't know too much about Jimmy Carter either. You know what I mean?
I only picked him because I know that on a as a person, as a humanitarian, like even after his presidency, the guy just builds homes for people.
And he was an alien
and he gave up,
guy.
And he gave up his peanut farm. He did everything right.
A lot of good things, yeah. But who knows, man?
Yeah, they all have blood on their hands. I think that's what you're getting at.
But I think JFK was, and that's why he was murdered. I think if you get murdered, you're probably a really bad guy or a really good guy. If
you
in
get murdered by
office,
the government, you're probably a really good guy. If you get
Yeah.
murdered by the people, you're probably not a great
There
guy,
you
right?
go. Yeah.
Excellent, because the next thing they talked about was McAfee.
Yeah.
Was he a bad guy? The crazy billionaire with meth, and they found the. Like, do you have a preferred
I don't
billionaire,
know.
or are they all actually
Did he
bad
murder
guys?
his neighbor or not?
I mean, Joe seemed to not care. Joe was like, the neighbor was probably a dick, which is a little alarming.
McAfee probably, I don't know. I don't know too much about him, to tell you the truth. I don't know if he was a good guy or a bad guy.
Listen, I don't care if you like to have anyone shit on your chest through a hammock. That's none of my business.
Yeah.
I don't
if
give a
it's
fuck.
consenting, who cares?
But there's no billionaire that you're like, I wish there'd be more billionaires like this billionaire.
I don't know that many billionaires. I only know the ones who want to get their face on the media. And those are probably the worst of the worst, because if you want,
I can give you one example.
Because the people that own Walmart are
They're
billionaires.
terrible. They're terrible people.
the Waltons.
Yeah, the
they're-
Waltons.
And
They're
there you
awful.
go. So those are almost like
Kamar, the girl that sold
bad person.
the girl that invented Spanx, she did it in her fucking like dorm room or whatever, or in her apartment in New York. Sold it like 6 years later for a couple $1 billion. She's a new billionaire. When she sold the company, every person at the company got a trip around the world of their choice and
That
$50,000.
sounds like a good person.
That's what I'm saying. So like what Simon's saying, the billionaires that you're well aware of probably by and large aren't great people.
on the backs of thousands of people.
I don't like this on the backs of. No, I'm not a fucking communist. Don't do what I'm saying is like, listen,
All the employees could probably get 20 cents an hour more if I make $1 million less or whatever it is. So they're making their money off the people showing up.
listen, CEOs by and large are vastly overpaid. Yes, you could pay, but I'm not doing this whole like every billionaire exploits every one of their employees. That's crazy.
We think they must.
You're speaking for me now?
Well, I think you.
I'm not sure. I'm sure there are billionaires who treat their employees really, really well. I think the ones we know about, the Elons, the whatever, they don't seem to. You never hear about like people saying, "Oh, Tesla is the best place in the world to work."
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear that.
I agree.
You don't hear Microsoft is the best place in the world. You just don't. You hear like of some startups, but that's usually because it's like younger people.
Yeah, and they have
and then
beanbag
they
chairs
spend
and you
all
can
their
take the
money and they
afternoon
go
off to
out of
smoke
business.
pot, yeah.
But the ones that make it, like Kamar said, they have employees that they probably don't pay the best, and like Amazon.
Are they
you know?
happy? Well, Amazon. Are they happy to work at Apple?
See, that's a trick
I have
question.
no idea.
Because
That's a trick question.
In the whole bit of the company, at some point they do. If they're just hanging around at the Apple store and condescending to everyone,
Well, see, this is
That's
why
that's the height.
this is why I said it's a
Step the fuck up.
This is why I said that's a trick question, though, because like, if I work at Apple headquarters, I probably love my job. If I work at ConCon in fucking China, I probably despise my job. Foxconn in China.
Absolutely.
So
I knew
now, what you're probably going to say is they don't work for Apple. There's probably some
No, I agree. I agree with you.
If you work for the Nike head office in
Sick job. In
awesome
Beaverton.
job. If you work in the shoe
sweatshop,
factory
not
in
a great job.
Shanghai,
Yeah.
not so great.
pretty shitty job.
Therefore, it's possible to say everyone is.
I don't
making
know. This is
money.
a weird conversation. We just seem to be going around in circles.
No, but it's a good point because no, but let's go back to the billionaires not taking advantage. Like, are they taking advantage of those people in the third world countries?
Yes, 100% yes.
Exploiting. Taking
Yeah.
You're
advantage,
going to
same
say
word.
no because
I'm not gonna say
without
no.
them,
No, I'm
they
not gonna
make
say no.
nothing.
No.
They're still being taken advantage of.
Simon, I'm also not a staunch economic conservative. I agree. I'm with you where if you're going to pay them $1 a day, you can pay them $5 and it's nothing off your bottom line.
We're in a group chat with one of our friends who constantly comments on the show. Shout out to Pat. And this week he wrote, Simon had the best take on what?
You know what's hilarious?
This is the corniest thing I've
Wait,
ever
no.
seen in my
I'm
life.
going to tell you why.
You had the
But,
best take on regulation.
Matt, I have no idea what I said.
Yeah.
You know
I never
what
remember.
I mean? I was like, I had a good
I
point
said that?
on
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't even know what it was.
I know, but you could go back and listen to it.
I could, but
Simon, I edit the show.
Yeah.
And when I go to post it, I can't remember anything we spoke about. Like writing that blurb, it's a blank.
And it's like they say, making movies and stuff, you still don't know what's going to work. You can have all the ingredients.
Sorry, I know we veered off onto me for a second.
I'm so
You
sorry.
don't
No,
like that.
was
but
rude. That was rude of me. I apologize.
Go on with your almighty notes.
What else you got, Kamar?
The environment is on the clock because there should be the most fires ever this year, being such a mild winter, right?
There's
Why?
some environments on the clock.
Everything's drier. They were just talking about the forest fires. They were suggesting that it might have been something else, like
You know what I'm a little
the
sick of?
Canadian ones, like the orange smoke. They talked about it.
Yes, I heard them. Yeah. Well, I mean, we spoke about it at the time too.
Who knows what that
But
was? I don't know.
but
Well, lightning is this. What we
No,
were
I
told.
like this chemical that went missing.
lightning and the fact that global warming, climate change is less water.
Yeah, it's
destroying
drying out.
places,
It's
it's
making
drying
places
out, and there's
arid,
more
yeah.
fires. That's the explanation.
I have no problem at all with Joe and his cause of like global warming is here, but is always here. And we're just in this is how it works. And there's, trying to do these crazy initiatives is crazy. But then he has to fucking condemn Elon. Like the guy built his whole fucking thing on an electric car.
I'm sure he does in private, but I think publicly it might be a persona because they bagged on Mitzi. they bagged on
Yeah, they bagged on a lot of things.
Jordan
Joe was-
Peterson.
yeah.
Like it was sort of like they were showing a side, and he was being the other keel
No, but he does this all
and begging in love.
He does it all the time where he ignores the fact that Elon owns this electric car company. It's like he gets a pass. Everybody else is trying to bring on the new world order of
He thinks he's the best of the worst.
like, do you think it's a coincidence? Let me ask you, do you think it's a coincidence that Elon, the richest guy in the world, owns the biggest electric car company, and electric cars we know are a total scam? Because of the batteries?
Well, it's not just that. It's like his car company. Like, what do you think a Ford share is? One stock.
$10, $50, $100. I have no idea.
Sure, I think it's 40. Let's call it 40. The point is, Ford spits out how many cars off the fucking line a year, right?
Yeah.
And based on how many cars they spit out a year and how much profit they make, their fucking share is worth, like I said, let's call it 40. Maybe it's 10. Who gives a fuck? Tesla's shares are like $1,200 a piece.
Yeah, how does that make sense?
This is my point. Is like his wealth is propped up on fugazi numbers. It's almost like a Ponzi scheme in a way. I mean, again, it's future value, right? Like, keep in mind, Simon, Amazon didn't make money forever, right? That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Was it did not make money. It didn't turn a profit, but eventually we're going to be a fucking cash cow. I think that's what people are doing with Elon. So it's that what's the value? Not intrinsic. It's the future value of
Yeah.
the stock that people are. But my point is still valid that right now, based on how many cars they get off the line, there's no fucking way that stock.
Well, he claimed in that interview with Don Lemon that they sold more cars than any other car manufacturer last year. Just by the by.
Okay.
So whatever that means.
I mean,
Anyways,
I don't believe him just
I don't
because.
want to.
I believe they should talk to Elon as well as everyone. We found out Shane made $5,000, and that's how much you make to SNL.
That is heinous.
That seems egregious.
That is theft.
I wonder what the
Industry
musical
standard
guest
is?
does make because there's no way like some of those bands are going on there for $5,000.
I mean, they do less work though. They just have to show up.
I know, but for a comedian,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just that can't be for everybody. Brad Pitt only gets $5,000 to go. No, fuck no.
I
man.
think it is.
That's
I
crazy.
I think it's an old school like television thing. Like, of course, you only get $5,000, but the exposure.
Exposure to all 25 people that watch.
But what about what I'm thinking now is what about all of Letterman's, your Johnny Carson's, were each guest paid? Or did everyone just come up because it was exposure, creating content, and so they're all influencers just selling their 5 minutes for free?
Selling their movie. That's why it was.
No, I don't know. Listen, once you're part of the union, it gets real dicey. You're making a television appearance. I think you have to get paid. As far as
Yeah,
a
but
union
it
standard.
might be,
As
it
a
might be
guest.
nothing. It could be $50, and that's just like
A
the
formality,
rule,
I
you
get
know?
it, but my point is,
And you're famous, so it doesn't matter the money. That's what I would tell you.
no, and I get it. I understand what your point is. Your point is like, if you're selling a movie, you're going to go on SNL. They're paying you as a formality. You're really there to sell the movie.
Yeah, no, that's probably
Like
what
it's
it
a
is.
promotional
That's-
thing.
So even 5,000 seems pretty good if it's just
Knowing Lauren Michael, though, it was 5,000 in the 70s, and he just kept that rate. Like back then, it was like, oh, $5
it's
grand.
5,000 pesos. He's just
Yeah,
not,
he's a real prick about it. Yeah.
Do you think Manson is like a CIA name?
Oh, that's interesting.
It's just a weird.
Charlie
Manson shows
Manson?
up. I mean, obviously, it could just be a coincidence that they're Marilyn Manson,
His real name was Steinberg.
artist,
No, Manson named himself
Shirley
after
Manson,
Manson.
Charles Manson.
Who's Shirley Manson?
She was garbage. She was big in
was
the
garbage.
90s. The band Garbage.
Okay.
Are you just naming people
Sorry,
to name
this
Manson
is
now?
so-
Marilyn, yes, yeah,
I
that's
thought you were
exactly
talking
what I'm doing.
about Charles Manson.
Yep, he's one of them too.
Well, he was the first one.
Was he?
Well, who did he name himself after?
Marilyn Manson wasn't before him.
Wait a minute. You think that there was just no one with the last name Manson
Hold
before
on
Charles
a second.
Manson?
You're getting stuck on the wrong thing. He thinks Marilyn Manson came before Charlie Manson.
Marilyn Manson is a 1990s rock.
Oh, sorry.
Marilyn Monroe?
Yeah.
You know who Manson is,
No,
right? He
no,
killed those
I
people
just-
in the
I
70s.
got nothing. No, I thought her name was Marilyn
The
Manson.
60s?
Marilyn Manson. No.
It's Marilyn Monroe.
Dude,
Yeah.
I have that all.
Yeah.
I have
Marilyn
all-
Monroe
I
is
have
who
all
they
it
talked
down.
about.
It's got a
Dissertation.
Jesus
Oh, that's
Christ.
hilarious. Yeah. No, I was wondering what you were doing there.
I
Yeah.
just wrote down the word Manson. And
The way Simon looked at me, too. Does he know who Marilyn Manson is?
See, I'm pretty sure that remember last week we were talking about Manson and how I thought that a lot of what he did was like what the CIA wanted him to do, but then he got out of control.
Yeah,
He was
started doing his own thing, yeah.
Started doing his own thing, and him showing up to
Kill, the Beach Boy, Brian Wilson.
It's so fucking crazy to think that if that was the case and he went there looking to kill the Beach Boy brother and he had already moved because Manson had been in prison or wherever the fuck he was on the run.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy to think about, man. Just how things work like that, you know? Anyways.
I also think there was a defining moment on here where Joe referred to Pierre Polyev as brilliant. And I mean, he's not brilliant. He's just another politician. And,
I thank you.
We're in one of those weird situations where one guy is so bad that it's making the other guy look good. And we don't know if he's necessarily good because he's picked
we
up.
know because we've seen him since he was 21 who he is.
Well, I haven't paid it. I didn't know who he was until he started talking shit about Trudeau.
Listen,
you know?
I have no problem with Joe saying I back this guy. The brilliant part is my issue
Yeah.
because it's like
Hyperbolic.
Yeah, and that's fine. Joe's entitled to his opinion. I don't give a shit.
But what I think this was is a moment is Shane pushed back, and they all went in no Canada rules.
Yes, thank you.
They
But
all
Shane did that a bunch. I don't know if you noticed that. Shane shit on stuff and then was like, but just so you know, like he shat on Bobby Kelly and was like, I just want to say out loud, I love Bobby Kelly.
He has adopted
An antagonistic view against Joe Rogan.
if he calls something gay, he's won. If his instinct just referred to
No, I feel like he's big enough now that he doesn't have to like pander.
Yeah, he's not a
anymore.
yes
So
man.
he's out there speaking his mind, and even when he disagrees with Joe, he says it, and it's
I also
Because-
think he watched, who are they? Schaub and what's his name? Yes Men him forever, and it did
Yeah.
nothing
well,
for their
that's the
career.
other thing. This should be Eddie, Brendan, and Brian.
Yeah, but the whole point of this is to keep Joe young and with the
Yeah,
young kids. Those guys
absolutely.
are useless to him.
Yes, yes.
They're not cool with anybody,
Yes.
you know?
Or
were
they
good at
don't
the-
want to be in the
No,
spotlight.
no.
Everyone wants to be in the spotlight.
They were good at the beginning of podcasting. They were all pretty famous, all of those guys. It was good for Joe's, you know what I mean? It was keeping everything relevant. That's not relevant anymore. Nobody talks about the fighter and the kid.
No. It seems like
You don't
everything's
even
down.
see bad things about Brendan Schaub anymore. That's how irrelevant he's become. Nobody's even bothering to make hit pieces on him anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we didn't talk about this, but did you see the what the fuck is that guy's name? The singer on Legion of Skanks.
Crack Amico.
Crack D'Amico did the diss track on Tom Segura. Did
He's
you
done
see
everybody. I haven't heard that one yet.
it? It's pretty ruthless, man.
They didn't talk. Did they talk about this?
No, they didn't.
But he goes into him about the rich guy sort of thing.
Sorry?
Crack D'Amico
D'Amico,
goes
yeah.
after
Hasn't started, Simon.
Segura about being a rich guy flossing his fans.
Yeah,
I haven't heard the
they
song.
talk about a lot, but like he trashes Rogan. He like really goes hard, man.
To feel in a position, you could be like, Kid Rock told me to change my clothes, which is such a Mr. Burns things to do. But I think it would take him another level. He could wear a suit. He's that funny.
No, you're old school like that. We're like,
I am.
I hate that.
It's okay. No, I don't agree. I don't agree with anyone telling anyone if he felt comfortable, then that's fine. But
Yeah.
wear whatever you want.
Funny is funny.
I don't think there's a dress code.
No, good.
It's Bert and Tom. It's called Two Bears, One Grave.
I may have heard it. There might be a McAfee line in that. Like he made it after.
Oh
their
no, he
Super Bowl
did
debacle.
because
Yeah, okay. I've heard-
they
I've
make
heard
a
it. I've
joke
heard it. I've
about
heard
going on McAfee and embarrassing
Again,
yourself.
that's good. What I would do for someone to do a hate diss
and
track
then
about me.
true.
and
Yeah,
then
I've made it.
This is how great Legion of Skanks is. So they're doing their thing and they call up Bert and ask him if he's seen it, and he watches it and then gives a live.
Oh, that's awesome. Bird laughed, obviously.
He made a joke, but you could tell. I mean,
you
Bert
think-
doesn't like when people don't like.
No,
him.
he's got a big
Do you
ego,
think
yeah.
it was live and spontaneous?
Yes, because that's what the Legion of Skanks do. They don't give a fuck, man.
Do you really
I really
think it-
believe. I really
think it-
believe that.
I haven't heard it, but it feels
Well,
like
go
to me.
go check it out.
We're
and
going to
see.
call you tomorrow night and do this.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but maybe. Who knows? You may be right.
So none of us are going to see Ari. You guys aren't. You're not. You have no interest in seeing Ari.
I may. I don't know. I haven't really.
Who'd you
given it
rather
too
see,
much
Ari
thought.
or Ice Cube?
Ari?
Yeah.
Wait, why?
Ice Cube's coming too.
Oh, the same night? Like,
No.
do I have to choose?
Yeah, well, I don't know. If you're that kind of guy, you go to any show.
Where's Ice Cube playing? Bronson Center as well?
No, I think actually at Lansdowne.
Oh, the worst. I hate shows at Lansdowne.
Well, for rap, it might be all right.
Unless it's outside.
No, I don't think it's.
Yeah, then no. Garbage. Garbage. Lansdowne's a terrible venue. You know what? Maybe for rap. Yeah, I get what you're saying because I did see Method Man and Redman there, and it was okay.
It's like a hockey rink.
Ari is at the Boston Center,
Yeah, Bronson Center.
Bronson Center,
Bronson
which
Center.
is just so uncomfortable. Like, have you seen any comedy shows there?
It's a heritage building.
They haven't changed the seats in that
the
auditorium
wooden-
since literally
I know, I went to school there.
1981.
I know.
Like,
I
it's
performed.
really
I
uncomfortable.
performed on that
I
stage.
watched Joe Rogan do, I don't know, a solid 4 hours there because he did an hour of stand up and then 3 hours of Q&A.
Q&A. Yeah.
I saw Norm Macdonald there.
And it hurt my ass. No, I'm serious.
I'm
It
sure Ari
really
won't do
was
4 hours.
uncomfortable.
I saw Norm Macdonald, but I bought the tickets ahead of time.
Yeah.
Paper tickets.
Yeah. Put them through the wash.
Lost them.
Oh, nice.
I had to go back and buy
Oh, that sucks.
another set of tickets.
That sucks.
But it was worth it, man. He was the best. Best music soundtrack was a huge point of debate, or it was more between those movies in that time period between.
We just went through
Pulp
this the other
Fiction
day.
and,
Remember?
No, what did we?
Yeah,
what did
because
we
I said
decide
the
on?
harder they
Forrest
come
Gump.
was the best, and then Pat emailed or texted us about it.
What did I say was the best?
I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look.
For
and-
me, one that maybe they wouldn't. Maybe it was much more of a foreign film to them. Was Train Spotting.
amazing
a
soundtrack.
really
Oh,
good soundtrack.
So good.
Lust for Life.
Oh, everything.
And then there's
Bad boy, licking on angel
Born
boy.
Slippy.
When a boy,
There's a bunch of
boy,
music.
she was a, yes,
there's
yes.
a bunch of music I would never listen to and ended up being cool in that movie.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. That's a good. That's
What's
a,
another?
down
I mean,
as
the Big Easy has an amazing.
don't remember that
soundtrack.
soundtrack. No way. Walk like an
yes,
Egyptian.
yes, the Big Easy. It's a lot of Motown.
It's like really. It's like a lot of classic songs in there.
Yeah, all bangers.
Casino.
What was
Casino had a
Casino's
great soundtrack. I'm sure "Gimme Shelter" was on it because Scorsese's used that song in like every fucking
Goodfellas
movie.
is great
I don't remember the soundtrack
because
of
they have
Goodfellas.
doesn't it have Eric Clapton, Layla, and
Maybe.
there's something wrong with getting Casino and Goodfellas mixed up because so many actors are in them.
Yeah.
So you want to hear the soundtrack for Casino?
Yeah. Why is it bad?
No. Just I think there's
not
there's
Trainspotting.
definitely some bangers on
Okay,
there.
but I
it-
wouldn't. Okay.
the first one is Contempt. I don't know that. The
By who?
second one is Angelina, which is Zuma Zuma. You know that song?
Yeah, yeah.
Which was great.
Yeah.
I'm Your Hoochie Coochie. I'll Take You There. Nights in White Satin. That was
that's a gr- this is a
that's
great
sound-
soundtrack so far.
I'm not saying it wasn't. How High the Moon. Hurt. Ain't Go No Home. Yeah, Hurt is Teamy Euro.
Oh, I
This
thought it
is
was
what
the-
I mean.
okay.
There's a bunch that you wouldn't know
Yeah,
new
yeah.
to. Without You, Harry Nilsson. Love is the Drug, Roxy Music. I'm Sorry, Brendan Lee. Go Your Own Way, Fleetwood Mac.
Great song.
The Thrill Is Gone, BB King. Love
Great
is
song.
Strange, Mickey and Sylvia. The In Crowd, Ramsey Lewis.
All right, so not the best, but
No.
okay.
I mean,
The problem is this: is most films have an original score, and that's the soundtrack. Like Shawshank Redemption has an original score. There's no music
It's
in
Hans
that.
Zimmer. or
are you
whatever.
sure there's not one radio playing at some point?
I mean, maybe
The
one.
one
song.
dude sings a
that's-
Hank Williams song, but I don't know what to do.
That's so interesting how you say that because even the things on their own, they're good songs, but it's the scenes in the movie that impact you. Like Stand By Me,
Yeah.
that was an amazing soundtrack, especially at the time.
What about 8 Mile?
No.
No good. Judgment Night. We know that's a great soundtrack.
That's an interesting one. Some of them are not good. That
the
was
Breakfast Club. That had a good
Breakfast
soundtrack.
Club is a classic. And bringing new songs to the forefront, because it even happens in Stranger Things. They did that with that Kate Bush
Boogie
song.
Nights. Great
Oh yeah,
soundtrack.
good soundtrack there. Yeah.
Train Spotting, number 41. Great soundtrack. Top Gun. That was a pretty good soundtrack.
For 80s, like yeah. I guess,
Danger Zone. A little Kenny
Is this the top
Loggins.
100 music soundtracks by someone's?
I think that's
This
what's
is
up.
just
Yeah.
50. I'm
no, I like that.
remembering
Yeah.
soundtracks. The Royal Tenenbaum. That was a good soundtrack.
Don't know it.
I don't know that.
Oh, Reservoir Dogs. Oh my God.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs.
The Big Chill.
Boom,
That's
boom,
what I
boom,
meant,
boom,
not the
boom,
Big
boom,
Easy.
boom,
The Big
boom,
Chill.
boom, boom.
That was
Big
the
Chill,
one
yeah.
with all
Correct,
of the,
correct.
the hits on it.
Looking back on the track for a little greenback.
Friday.
I don't think
I don't even
got
remember.
it tonight.
Oh yeah, Friday was just a bunch of rap songs.
Oh, but it had that Friday. The actual song "Friday" by Ice Cube is a fucking West Coast banger. You
yeah.
crip walking that shit all day.
He'll play that at Lansdowne Park.
Goodwill Hunting.
Had a
don't
good
even remember.
soundtrack? No,
That's what they
fucking
said.
way. I don't remember a song in that movie.
No.
Like this is what I was saying. Those
Forrest Gump.
original
Amazing.
scores, like Hans Zimmer has some original scores that are unforgettable. The original score for American Beauty and Shawshank, to me, unforgettable. They're almost the same.
His best work, hands down, is Power of One.
Hans
It's
Zimmer.
all African music. It's so fucking amazing. Like
Even
wa-
then, sorry.
watch that movie.
Ennio Morricone, the guy that did all the spaghetti westerns, like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, that dude, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, that's a fucking incredible soundtrack. And it's all just that spaghetti western
Dirty Dancing.
Ooh.
Not for you, but it is a good soundtrack.
No, yeah. No, I can respect it.
Hustle and Flow is on this list. The Harder They Come, number 20. Totally agree. It should be higher.
Watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly might be on there.
Lost in Translation.
Oh, yeah. It had a lot of air.
Jesus and Mary Chain,
Yeah.
Air, Death in Vegas. Not my type of music. Romeo and Juliet. That's the.
Yeah.
Fight Club. But
It
what
had
I'm saying-
all techno music.
Fight Club. The only song I remember is Pixies at the end.
the-
Very memorable,
The
obviously.
usage
but
of the songs make them into music videos.
Garden State. That was a great soundtrack.
Don't know.
Zach Braff.
Yeah.
You didn't see Garden State? Come on.
was good.
think
It's
so.
it's a really good movie. Natalie Portman's might be the most beautiful.
Ooh, Singles. That's probably a little before your time, but
Yeah.
that had like a banger
That had a big
of a
impact.
grunge
Is that the
soundtrack.
early '90s one
Yeah,
where
with
it's
Matt
the
Dillon.
three? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I remember. I barely remember it, but I.
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yep.
Is on this
Yep.
list.
That was it. That
I'm
was
a man of
Bluegrass.
constant
it's
sorrow.
Great. Yeah, it's fucking great. Saturday Night Fever. Okay, here's the top 10 according to
Saturday Night
these
Fever
guys.
for
all
sure.
right?
Yeah,
Saturday Night Fever, number
yeah.
10.
That makes sense.
Number 9, Dazed and Confused. Great soundtrack. Oh
Yeah.
my God. It was all 70s
No,
music.
that's
It was
true.
amazing.
It's got to be. Yeah,
It was
a
amazing.
lot of Aerosmith. Sweet emotion.
I'm seeing if they give you any examples here, but anyways.
Number 8.
Number 8, Almost Famous. Very good soundtrack. Cameron Crowe, very
Yeah,
good soundtrack.
She
Number
packed my
7.
bags pre-flight.
This is going to be a controversial one. The Bodyguard.
No, it's not controversial. I told
We
you it was
already
number one
discussed that.
forever.
We already discussed that.
Number 6, Above the Rim.
I don't remember.
Death Row Records.
Oh,
First
my-
shot at
okay.
a soundtrack. Sound casing is Blockbuster Mike took advantage of rapper. Above the Rim, pour out a little liquor and deep cuts pain and loyal to the game. Well, I don't know it, but they seem to think it made this list. Number 5, Superfly. Interesting.
I bet it was full of James Brown. And
Number
like 70s
4,
Motown.
Goodfellas. And now that I think about it, Goodfellas had an incredible soundtrack.
Okay, when he's being chased by the helicopter.
That's
What the
Harry.
fuck?
That's Harry. He was the guy that was hanging out with Belushi and stuff. Who died.
Yeah, yeah,
Harry,
yeah.
Number
Harry,
3, Pulp
fucking
Fiction.
idiots.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
Number 2, The
Forrest
Lion King.
Harry Neal.
Ha, Nielsen.
Harry Nielsen. Yeah.
And number
was a
1,
collab.
best soundtrack of all time, according to this list, Purple Rain.
Yeah,
I
okay,
disagree,
sure.
but that's
No, but
just
I
because
feel
I'm
like
not a
Prince
huge
made
Prince
this
fan.
list.
Just like the casinos made the fucking
It's true. The book on
21
blackjack.
book.
Yeah.
I put Train Spotting in front of a bunch.
No,
of
that
those.
list was a little weird, the way,
also
but it
dep-
had the right
Have
movies
you
in
guys
the wrong
seen
order.
Train Spotting?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. What are you, nuts?
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack their brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's a movie game where Matt and Simon go head to head, find out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made at the box office. This week we're doing
Who directed it?
Train Spotting.
Normally you tell
don't
us.
know?
No.
I do know. Danny Boyle.
Nice.
So that was his.
His entry into
first
the game. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Starring
Written by Irving Welsh. Is that right?
based on his book,
Wow,
Irving Welsh.
Simon.
The book. just
John Hodge
before-
did the screenplay just
Before
for
we get
transferring.
going, so the book is incredible. Really, might
than the
be
movie.
one of the best books I've ever read.
Wow. It's called Trainspotting?
It's so hard to read because he writes in Scottish slang. So he writes the way they talk in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
movie.
so it's like- it's written
Words
out
are
like,
written out.
Shites, a lot of shites.
It
instead of
is,
shits.
but once you get into it, it's so good. The Begbie character in the book is so fucking good. I mean, he's great in the movie. What's his name? Plays him so fucking
Robert
well.
Carlyle.
But that scene where he goes and throws the bottle
Yeah.
over his back and then runs downstairs, watch motherfucker throw the ball. It's so good, man. It's so
or
good.
when the American tourist walks in the pub Like, hey guys, just started to watch.
They all follow him out.
Like, wow, I didn't know he started work already this time.
All right, let me do a little math. Sorry.
Starring Ewan McGregor, Ewan Bremer,
His first role,
Johnny
too.
Lee Miller, Kevin McKidd, Robert Carlyle, and Kelly MacDonald.
McDonald.
Yeah, this movie changed my life.
Great fucking movie. It's a great fucking movie. Simon, you have a year yet?
Just give me a sec here. I'm
Okay.
trying to.
I'm not trying to rush you there,
think
pal.
in my head.
I am not trying to rush you. I mean, you do have to give us some airtime here. Like, we're just asking
Okay.
me.
And
Yeah.
actually,
I
I,
think
can
I'm
give you
ready.
this. This might change everything up. It's in pounds.
What? You
Well,
got to
give
give
it
us
to
the
us in
American.
dollars,
Get the
you
fuck out of
dum-dum.
here.
This is the first time this ever happened.
Yo, you can find it in dollars.
Yeah.
I guarantee. Just go
Simon,
to a
what year do you
different
have?
source. I have a 1996, Matt.
I have 1994.
Kamar, the year?
1996.
Simon.
We're starting to hone in here, eh? It feels like every week we're really.
You know what the worst part is though? It's one of the other. It's never weeks where we're both just nailed in. It's like either Simon's locked in or I'm already ready, Simon. I'm already
Take
ready.
some time. Like this movie has a lot of other people that we did not mention in the reading. That was like the four main characters, but there's another girl who he hooks up with, who he finds out is a schoolgirl. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in this movie.
You know what just dawned on me after 5 years of doing this? A professional show we would predetermine what the movie game was, and we would write down our guesses, knowing that it was coming, so that this dead air would be eliminated.
That's true. Gotcha.
What would we do?
So what we would do is when we sit down, you would tell us,
Yeah.
this is the movie game,
Yeah.
and then Simon and I could start writing our guesses down so that when it comes time for the movie game, we're just ready to go.
And not just spring
Not
it on
just
you
sit
into
here.
the
Okay, I'm ready.
conversation.
Well,
Or-
no, you still spring it on us, but then we're ready with our answers, so
Everything's
there's no
there.
dead air. Yeah,
I'm ready.
I am
you
as
can
well.
go ahead.
I said it cost $20 million to make, and it made 85.7.
Whoa, I went in a totally different direction. I
probably went
said
in the right direction.
It cost $35 million to make, and it made $220.
It cost $1.5 million to make.
1.5?
It's funny. I was going to go much lower, but I was like, I
Jesus Christ. Okay.
And it made $16 million.
16?
can't. Wow.
1.6.
Yeah.
1.6.
I feel like you have your numbers all wrong.
Is that in pounds?
Well, the gross is U.S., Canada, and worldwide. So I think that's
That's
American
interesting.
dollars. But
That's interesting.
If it's 1.5 million, you could say it's probably $3 million Canadian.
I think we're forgetting that in the movie, a family's eating breakfast and they get feces thrown
was
all
at
over
the
them.
Bytown.
The dead body on
was
the
at the
roof.
Bytown.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah,
on
it wasn't a
AMC
wide
or
release. Yeah,
something.
well, because
It was
theaters would be
played
like,
2 nights.
yeah, no, that
then
makes sense.
Went on the way.
That makes sense.
So it just didn't make that much money. But
It cost 12 million pounds and it made 72 million internationally.
Oh, so I won.
So it's more than that.
So I won.
well, am I fired?
Yeah, you're done, buddy.
12
Get him out of
million.
here.
So hold on.
Get him
a
out of here.
sec.
That's Wikipedia.
Simon, 12 million pounds. That's a win for me. I said 20 million US.
IMDb said 16 million. This says 72 million. But that might be after DVDs, this number. IMDb was just
touche.
ticket sales at the box office.
What I've also realized from trivia is that IMDb is trash. Absolute garbage.
Everything's trash.
Yeah.
Everything's like-
Worldwide box office 71.
So I nailed it.
yeah.
I had 85. I'm right
And
there.
ruined Simon's day.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Okay. Well, either way.
Well, that's the movie game.
There
Nice
you go.
work.
There you go. Kumar, we got it. Oh, no. We can give it a bit more. Keep going.
Have you guys ever seen the footage of Hunter S. Thompson? It's on CBC, and they have a Hell's Angel come to the interview, and he drives a motorcycle into the studio where, like Ian Adenoff or whatever, some CBC reporter is sitting there with Hunter S. Thompson, and he talks to him about how we let you chill with us, and you are telling people. You know, it's not what you say, but an outlaw, still the same. And it was something to do with someone hit their girlfriend or something, and Hunter S. Thompson tried to stop him from doing it, and that was the issue. It's really, really, really raw.
That's on CBC.
It's black and white. It's on
Did
YouTube.
they talked about this
No, they just talked about Hunter S. Thompson was embedded
with
with the Hells Angels. And so
because he went to write the book, The Hells Angels.
and there's this idea that maybe they're best friends or whatever. And in this confrontation, he was sort of like, "You'll never be one of us." It's really, really raw. Like, I suggest people.
I wonder if Hunter S. Thompson was just like, who has access to drugs? I'm going to embed myself with them. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I think at the beginning he was like a legitimate.
I'm making jokes, Simon.
He was getting like real things, and then he just went off the road with the fucking.
Just making the joke. You know what I mean? Like
But
you're a
it
writer
worked
and you're like,
out
I'm going to
that if he
embed
found
myself
out
with
who
the
had the
cartels.
drugs,
Yeah,
he had
this
the
goes
best
for a
friend.
couple
Yeah.
months. Like,
He never came back from
yeah.
Pablo Escobar.
Exactly. He writes a puff piece and never he's just like on a beach somewhere with tons of blow.
Kamar just decides to be a journalist so he can write an in-depth piece on Epstein Island.
It was really funny when Shane said, if this podcast didn't work out, you'd be the stupidest person alive. Because he referred to, I read books from kickboxers.
He said I read 20. Yeah.
It was a really, this was one of my, I've bagged on these historically, but that they keep fresh and going. And it seemed like
5 hours.
the 5 hours is too much.
egregious.
It's too much.
No,
And
no
they're
need.
just screaming over each other. It's so hard to listen to.
But more, it's almost like a game of Simon Says where they bag on each other. All of them will pile on Ari, then they'll all pile on Shane, but he's pretty Teflon Don. It's pretty hard to get him because he's so humble in his greatness. They bag on Mark for the notes and all that stuff, and they bag on Joe for Elon, Mitzi, everything.
I didn't realize Joe was so, I mean, it makes sense. He's only human, but I didn't realize he didn't like the short stuff.
the short stuff?
Yeah, like being made fun of for being short.
Why would he? Why would anyone?
Well, no, but you just assumed Joe was like Teflon.
No.
No, well, I did. Don't say nope. I'm saying
No,
I
know,
always
I
assumed.
know short
What do you
people.
mean? He cares about it now?
No, but no,
always
he
and forever is all his
no, he
whole
made
life.
it seem like when he was like, yeah, I don't like the short stuff. He said that.
I just imagine Joe not caring about anything.
That's
now.
what I said.
No
The guy wears a
way.
fanny pack and shaved
No
his head.
way.
And,
No
you know,
way. You're always, part of you is that scared kid you are.
I don't think Joe is.
Yes.
I think most people are.
Every single person is.
I think Kamar's right.
That kid's in every single person, and you'll see people revert to that kid in stressful situations.
Okay.
You will.
I love when Mark was like, we've all banged some twos. And Joe goes, no.
No.
Yeah,
That was
he goes,
pretty good
I was
looking."
pretty good looking. And he was like successful at 20. So I actually believe that Joe probably banged very few twos.
I love Mark Norman in that Simon was talking about how great Legion of Skanks is. And I remember when he was opening for Amy Schumer, he was like nobody, and he was this guy.
I
Way
like.
more actually debaucherous. Sorry.
How many
I'm
twos do
sorry.
you think you fucked?
How many twos have I?
Yeah. Should we do an over
I
under,
think
Simon?
in my life I've had sex with fives, you know? Like the
Okay.
average.
No, I'm not. No, that's a fun.
No,
No,
that is-
that's not the question.
Whoa, is this out of 5 or out of 10 or out of 100? What are we talking
Out of
about?
10. That was not the question. I asked you how many twos you've slept with.
I can't break it down. It all comes out right down the middle.
Simon, you can't have a high number of twos. No way.
I mean,
You
I
have
just
the
don't
most
have a high
discerning-
number.
I was
I've
gonna
been
say,
married
yeah.
for a long time.
No twos.
But let's say my number is, I'm just going to make up a number here.
Yeah.
30,
Yeah.
15 of them were maybe not twos, but they weren't sevens. You know what I mean?
That's a wide berth. Where were they? Where were they? What's in the box?
No. If you probably judged me on my work, I probably did pretty well. But again, I don't have a huge number like Kamar does. So
Oh, I bet Kamar's got a fucking.
Kamar has like probably a ludicrous
Body bag,
number,
yeah.
but he also has no self-respect. So
Oh yeah,
that
no.
helps the
Yeah.
number get
Yeah,
bigger,
yeah.
you know?
He's a numbers guy.
Yeah, it's some sort of immature
Quantity over quality.
flattery thing. Speaking of
No, I think it's a fucking fun.
speaking of getting up to act for a scene,
Yeah.
the guy in Seven. You know, and he get off me, having to just like get off the phone with your kid and then go do that or whatever. That's
Or
impressive.
maybe he really got into the scene like Daniel Day-Lewis and
Thank God he wasn't.
just got, you know,
Simon's dark today.
cloud in the back.
You never see Kevin Spacey do the atrocious things that he does to these people.
You never see Kevin Spacey until the end of the film.
But you see this guy being,
You just gave away the whole movie.
I don't care.
I don't care.
If it was just a magic, press a button, press it back, would you want to feel like it's to be a girl? And Shane said no because I'm not gay.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
but it's sort of like, I think I would.
Yeah, you wear nail
I'm-
polish.
I'm
and, yeah,
half
you're
gay.
already there. Yeah.
I'm half gay. I'm half white. I'm half brown.
I mean, it would be interesting to like experience the female orgasm.
No, it wouldn't because guys rule.
That's definitely the gayest thing you'll ever say. but
Yes, I've always said that. But I think
Is that the gayest thing I've
Oh,
ever
yeah.
said?
Yeah.
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 Mark
without,
it down.
without a doubt. Yeah.
Hit the
Yeah,
fucking
chalk
number.
that one up.
No,
Yeah.
I think I would like to know
I
like
totally
how
wanna
close
know.
it
I
is
totally
to
want to
ours,
know.
you know?
I totally want to know.
Yeah, you want to know.
totally
I know,
wanna
but
know.
again, he has his nails painted. He's got the earrings. And
No, I've always wondered. I've always
Simon
wondered.
wants to know what it's like to be disappointed, to not get there. I want to know what it's like to get halfway to an orgasm and then have the other person just stop.
What about this? You might be able to spitball this.
Yeah, I do. I want to know what it's like to be disappointed.
There was a trans comic and they're talking about faking an orgasm.
Yeah.
And I was like, which one? Yeah. Because if it's a girl's orgasm, it's very easy. You just sort of moan.
Yeah, can't
throw
fake
your
a guy's
hands up there.
orgasm.
No,
Yeah.
Oh, you can.
You spit on their face.
No, you have to get them in doggy style.
Yeah.
And then you have to work up the spit. And then you
spit
have
it on their
to-
back
This
or
is
ass.
Spit on their back,
literally
pull
the
out.
most disgusting thing I've ever
and sort of collapse on them because spit still won't have that consistency and it's just sort of we're a wash of it. It's just a lot harder. Like
Or you just fake bust in them and have that argument.
that's not funny. You guys don't have any. Maybe it's the words I use to describe it. I'm gonna listen back, and also on the
I'm gonna listen back.
Are you trying bits on us?
Yes.
Bit bitty.
Well, this is a terrible bit.
in the case of intimacy, there's nothing more intimate than taking like a
Big, long
80-20
shit.
shit in a public restroom and making eye contact with someone who knows what you just did.
What's an 80-20 shit?
80 shit, 20 fart. You're very. You've never done this because you don't shit in public.
This is terrible. This is
How
a
often do you shit in
terrible bit.
public?
all the time. I have a locker room.
What does that mean?
There's a place where
Like you
I
have a locker room all over Ottawa?
No, I
But
work.
is that
I work.
public?
Well, there's a bunch of people in there. You could be in there and nothing could happen. Or you could open the door and just, hey,
Fair enough. Fair
it's
enough.
super fucking intimate.
He went, hey, like he has a cigarette while he's on the can at work. Like,
And if you have to ask someone for toilet paper,
you don't check when you go
they
in?
might as well be walking around with their pocket hanging out.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. That's the gayest thing he's ever said.
Yeah, I know, totally.
Is that all you have for parks?
Like I said, I didn't actually listen to the whole thing.
Perfect. I mean, they, like Simon said, they really just get drunker.
But
and
I
drunker.
always bag on this thing, and I like this one. I give it a 4. I'm just sure
He
the
listened to
end they
half,
just-
but he liked it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the key
He
to
doesn't
liking the
even know
episode.
what happened in the second half.
Just listen to half and you'll love it.
Well, if we're only rating half, then I give it a 3.5.
I give it a 3.5 as well.
But if we're rating the whole thing, I give it a 3.
I just think it's too long. Like I love these episodes. It's great.
5 hours is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
For any podcast ever.
From 2 months ago.
Yeah.
For me to have to listen now.
Listen, by the way,
Yeah.
Lex now has the woman on, the nuclear bomb woman, Annie Jacobson, who is on.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan.
yeah.
Listen to that episode. I know you won't listen to the Danny Jones because you don't want to listen to any podcast I recommend, but she's great. Listen to that episode.
Did you listen to any of the 4-hour Palestine-Israel debate with Norman Finkelstein and
I did.
Destiny?
Yeah, I did.
You are the
dumbest
of an idiot.
person I have ever
By all
spoken to,
metrics
sir.
known to the educated person, you are a moron. And he wouldn't call by his name, Mr. Botticelli.
Mr. Botticelli, you might be the dumbest human being.
I
And he
heard.
speaks so
I
slow and
watched
Jewy.
Destiny debate. Who the fuck was it?
Peterson, that just went out.
Well, that wasn't a debate. That felt more of a
No.
discussion,
It
I
was
guess.
a younger guy. Who was it?
Destiny's best debate is with the dude with the red background who's clearly who's clearly a skinhead. And he just keeps quoting Klaus Schwab. Dude, it is unreal.
I can't remember. Sorry. It might have been Shapiro somebody like that. It was like
Well, Destiny's done a few debates on Lex recently. He debated Shapiro.
who did he debate on Lex?
Shapiro.
Shapiro.
yeah, that was a.
It was an interesting conversation.
No, it was a debate. It was
whatever it
measured.
was. It was interesting.
Different size. 21, 24. Dave Attell and Ian Finance. Not all at once, guys.
Did you listen to this one?
Yeah, I
Okay,
didn't.
well,
I
we
didn't.
are a
So
step
I
ahead of the game then.
Come on, give me a break. Like, how often does this happen? I would have listened to it had I fucking known.
It's so funny.
Normally, hey.
It's so funny that he came in like super cocky about how short the week was, and we'll have to do it in this order because
Yeah. Normally, one of you texts on a Saturday
Kamar usually does.
and says, "Hey, just a heads up, Saturday drop."
in all
I'm not
fairness,
wrong, right?
In all fairness, I didn't even notice till this morning that it came out,
Oh, and you
and I
listened to it
listened
this
to
morning.
it at work.
I think under most circumstances, I probably would have done that, but I just when I noticed it, I was like,
Hey.
"Oh my, are you fucking kidding?"
Well, keep in mind too, you had texted. You texted us earlier in the week saying 5-hour parks unacceptable. So I would have assumed that a Saturday drop.
Thinking but I didn't even find out about this till like
Gotcha.
late last night.
I'm not blaming you either. It's my fault.
I was
This was a really sneaky drop.
I was floored.
And it wasn't like a big enough deal for anybody to be like, oh, look who's on, or they're so terrible, I can't believe they're on. It was just,
Well, the funniest is I was going to come in here and guess that Dave Attell was going to be on because Joe said he's like, Dave Attell's coming in Friday. I was like, maybe they missed
They're
that.
very current.
He was on Marin, so we should have known he was going to be on Joe.
All right, Kamar. Let's
Yeah, I didn't
start
listen
this
to it,
bad
Kamar, so
boy
this
up.
is all you.
Well, listen, it doesn't matter. It's
No,
all,
I'm just gonna sit
it's
here
not
like a
they
sieve.
talked about things that you wouldn't understand. Wasn't a physics podcast.
It'd be cool if there was more documented shark on shark
Crime.
fight.
Dude,
Like,
I saw the
violence.
craziest.
I said
They have a
violence.
crazy video of a great white shark a killer whale hitting a great white shark.
Yeah.
It comes in like a fucking freight train. You haven't seen that?
No.
killer whale.
dude,
the
it's
killer whale,
insane.
hence its name,
Yeah.
kills a shark.
Well, and they know how to fuck sharks up. They like paralyze them. They flip onto their back and then they eat their
liver,
livers.
yeah.
They are fucked up, man. They don't even want to eat the shark. They just want to fuck that shark up and steal its liver.
But
It's badass, bro.
Yeah, man.
you think fish could be aliens? Do I think fish could be descendant from aliens?
I don't know. Do I think fish could be? I mean, octopus seem like they have alien traits. But as far as just like regular fish,
But when you watch like the clownfish that's orange and white and black and it's swimming amongst these sea anemone things. It's
sea anemone.
do you know what I'm talking about though? Like
No, but that doesn't.
the fish that swim in other things that are opening and closing.
That doesn't seem alien to me. There are things in the ocean that definitely seem like they could be. I don't know. You're asking if everything in the ocean
Just
seems
look
alien?
at this, Matt. Check out it hit this fucking shark.
Yeah, that was fast as
Did you
fuck.
see that?
Yeah. Blasted.
4K has changed everything. I can't believe what I used to watch on a shitty TV
Yeah.
and think I was looking at something good.
Dude, John Stewart said
Colors,
the funniest thing. He
whatever.
was like, isn't it crazy how TV from 11 years ago, at any point, like even right now, you look at TV from 11 years ago and it looks like it's from the 70s.
Yes.
Like it's so weird.
Or it's our eye. Or you think it's your eyes.
In a couple of years, maybe even sooner, we're going to find out that the whole alien thing, everything that's going on with aliens, is happening underwater. That the majority of all alien activity is happening underwater.
Safest place to operate?
We purposefully don't look into our oceans. Nobody does for some reason. I think that's just one of those known, like, it's known by the leaders of the world that don't fuck with the ocean. That's a bottle we don't want to open. Don't do it.
That's what sunk the Titanic.
That's interesting.
I knew
That's interesting.
there was no iceberg.
It was the aliens.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucking possible. But listen, the aliens have been here for a long time. They've been in our oceans for a long time, and they're not attacking us. That doesn't seem to be in.
Well, of course not. We have
If-
shipping lanes.
If Joe's fucking thing on this was hilarious. If they are, what's the fucking word? Why can't I think of it? Taking us, abducting us.
yeah.
That's like the only real bad thing that's happening. Everything else is people see alien ships and that's it. The only people who have bad stories are the ones who get raped. Some of them get to have sex with female aliens. That sounds awesome. But some of them get it like
Ooh, some of that
like fire in
some
the
of that
sky.
tight,
Travis
sweet alien puss.
Travis Walton, they might have like 4 clitorises. You don't know, man.
Well, that's only good for them. What good is that to you?
I can't even get one to work.
Oh, great! 3 more things I
just
can't
meant
find.
They might have like an extra 4 holes. You've
Okay, yeah,
never
no,
even
that's a
heard
little
of.
better.
That
Yeah,
could be good
that's
for
better.
you.
Yeah.
What was I talking about?
The advantage
Alien
is
sex.
Yeah.
That's
No, right before that.
Alien
The
sex.
abductions being the only bad
abductions.
thing.
That's the only bad things that happen. Joe's point was if they only knew that tons of people want to be abducted, they wouldn't have to take people.
Yeah.
We'd be offering, you know?
Bunch of people standing in a field, anus up.
Yeah, exactly.
Take me
Exactly.
Do you think when you were a kid you thought a talking parrot would be the best thing ever?
for sure.
And then you slowly learn birds are the worst things to
worst,
have in your
yeah.
house ever.
But same with a monkey. When you were a kid, you definitely wanted to own a
I
little
kind of
monkey.
still want a monkey.
I really want a raccoon more than a monkey right now.
I like a parrot that said everything I said in my voice. But I don't think I'd have to be away from it. Have to have a bird house.
Rap, time to jerk
Yeah.
off again.
No,
Rap, time to jerk
everything
off
about
again.
birds is horrible. Unless you have like a falcon that's out there hunting shit.
That you fucking trained. Yeah, for sure.
There's a guy on
Birds
Instagram.
are just meant to fly if they're even real.
There's a guy on Instagram who's got this fucking crow that goes around the city taking money, and it just brings it back to his apartment.
those crows are so highly trainable. It's insane.
I know you want one so bad.
I mean, they seem pretty cool.
All you got to do is give them stuff, Simon. There's enough crows out on your
I want
land.
to start a whole thing with the crows.
Why?
you
They'll
know
protect
what I
you.
mean? Will they?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll chase the deer off.
Dude, if they know you're not into the deer, they will.
Train the crows to chase.
You know
the
how
deer.
you think of raccoons as being from the wild?
Yeah.
But there's generations of raccoons that were just born in the city. They're from Ottawa. They're urban raccoons. They don't know this woods you speak of with everything. Like there's garbage cans on every block. You work this block. If that guy goes,
Like, I live in a shed. I was born in a shed.
I always imagine they have little raccoon restaurants. I've talked about this before. But at our house,
You must love Ratatouille, eh? That's one of your favorite movies.
I like it. I like it a lot. I've ordered food, fallen asleep, and
and
gone
had
in
it
the
eaten
morning
by a
too.
squirrel. Yeah, me too.
No.
Oh.
Frozen, solid.
Oh,
the front porch.
interesting. Wow.
My roommate had his stolen. I've told you this story.
Okay.
The guy dropped it off. 2 minutes later, some guy rode up on a bike, ran up on the lawn, and grabbed the food, and biked off.
I mean, that seems like that would happen every once in a while.
Inside job.
Inside job, yeah, for sure.
And then just recently, my roommate had 3 cheeseburgers devoured by a skunk.
I've definitely had that happen. I ordered Kettleman's, fell asleep at like 4 a.m. And then I woke up the next day and was like, fuck, I forgot. And I came out and there was just a ravaged bag of
Shreds
Kettleman's.
everywhere, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
lettuce spread out all over.
Hello, boys! Motherfucker fell asleep. Let's go.
It's weird to think of skunks eating meat, but they're omnivores and they're scavengers, so they'll
Smells.
eat whatever. But like in your head, you think they're herbivores.
Oh, and then this is the ironic one. Just most recently, a bird stole some chicken. You ordered like
that's
chicken
weird.
wings or something, and a bird flew off with it.
They don't care. Cannibals.
That's interesting.
It's crazy. Wow. Oh yeah.
I wonder if they'd eat their own chicken wings. Like if they
Their
were
own
chickens.
own? I think
if you had
so.
like crow wings, would a crow come down and just know?
I think they don't
Hey.
care.
I know that smell.
Yeah.
We
Bobby.
we have a cabin with a big glass window, and we have strings. Otherwise, birds just
Birds
fly into
hit
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
dumb.
that owl they were talking about flew into the building. That's probably because the building was all glass,
Yeah.
and that makes it a little hard for the birds to.
I wonder if the owl, though, is like, oh, there's an owl flying right at me. He's
Wouldn't
like, I
it
should
try and
veer.
get- well,
Well, no, but then
probably
it veer, and he's like, oh my God, he's going the same way.
You motherfucker!
You want to play this game?
Not
The handbook says we both go right.
That's why they call it chicken.
Not today. Some asshole had a tiger in an apartment.
In New York, yeah.
And have you ever been in an apartment with just a regular litter box?
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Terrible.
That tiger, that place must have stank.
It must have-
I can only
massive
imagine
tiger
what a
shits.
tiger shit smells like. Like my little dogs create smells that are so fucking unreasonable
Yeah.
that would make you want to throw up.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Are we killing bugs or are they committing suicide?
In what
We're
sense?
killing
He was talking about driving through locusts or something. There's a-
We're killing them.
It's-
The bugs don't know what they're doing. They're just flying. They happen to fly across the road.
I love it when people do that in a movie. There'll be a bug's like, yeah, so
Yeah, boom. Yeah. He's on the windshield.
There are so many insects in the world. It's insane. They outnumber us like 1 billion to 1. I don't know if that's true, but
I mean, the number
lot
seems
of
a bit high, but
insects.
yeah.
I'll tell you.
I know the biomass of ants is like the biggest on Earth.
They were talking about there's certain places where if you can make a lease and get the addresses, oil or water. What? I'm going brain dead.
I didn't listen to the episode. I can't even help
What's
you.
it called though? Your
Can you take a guess?
hot water, your all that. What is that?
Utilities.
Utilities. If you get the utilities in your name,
It's your place.
it's your place.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
crazy.
let's come back to that in a second.
Okay,
I
sorry.
just want you to take a guess at how many insects are on in the world.
Half the weight of the planet.
The largest
or
biomass.
3/4 of the core of the
about-
planet times pi.
Total insects
Total insects
on Earth.
On Earth. Individual insects alive.
10 trillion.
Go a little higher.
Retard.
You don't even know the number. It's 10 quintillion.
Wow. Well, Simon, I was going to say,
They
'cause
have
if-
the largest biomass of any terrestrial animals.
Simon, what I was going to say is like, think about our country, right? Like the amount of space we
Yeah.
live
Yeah, yeah.
basically along this line.
Yeah.
Ants are all over this
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, no,
Just
it-
fucking everywhere.
Quintillion.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even guess.
Sorry,
Like,
now,
wait,
now
yeah, I did.
let's go back to what
Yeah, I
you were
did.
talking
You didn't hear
about.
what I said?
He
No.
said quintillion. You didn't hear him?
No, it's
he doesn't know that
He
word.
said 6 quintillion.
It's a
instead of
quarter.
7.
It's a quarter of the mass.
I hate you.
Of the center of the Earth.
Okay, fuck
Four
off.
times pi.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how many bugs
Okay.
are.
What were you
This
talking
is
about before that? So we can swing on back
Squatters.
to it. Oh yeah, the
if you
squatters.
can make a fake lease and get a utility in your name,
See-
you can lock the people out of the house.
Shit like this really bugs me, where obviously these rules are wrong and the people are getting fucked, and yet the government won't do shit about it. Like, this is where we need you the most, dummies. This is where we want your rules to work. Like, it's so obvious. How could you not get this in front of a judge and they're like, yeah, obviously this isn't this guy's house.
Yeah.
It's your house. You had the fucking deed.
Yeah.
But I think I was seeing on YouTube, I felt I was sort of bubbling. There's a thing where people now get squatters out. So they get you out of the house and change the locks on you and squat you out of the place. And that's becoming a new thing. So hopefully that doesn't end with violence or whatever. But
Well, it already did end with violence. The person got killed. They went to their house and there were 2 squatters there and they killed her and stole her car. Oh, you didn't listen to the episode. They talked about it on this episode.
That's so sad.
It's
And they're
crazy
still
laws.
at large, Matt.
You never want to be the last guy at a party.
I was watching Reels the other day.
Yeah.
And what comes up? The Ottawa story. Somebody had made one of those, with the stupid voiceovers
Yeah.
about the family who got killed there. It's weird seeing your hometown mentioned in something like that. Anyway, sorry.
Makes you part of the
Go
conversation.
ahead. Go ahead.
Never want to be the last guy at a party. I bit him a couple times.
Just a couple.
And the guy is like, I can't believe you guys are still up. Like, this is great. But they're just they're actually standing there just hoping.
I think it's more like the next day, the guy's wife is like, "Oh, you're still here," and Kamar's like, "Oh yeah."
You've heard that story?
No, I imagine that's happened to you 100 times.
Oh, man.
That story, though, of the people being left outside is fucking fishy. It really feels like there's something missing in that.
They talked
story.
about the Kansas City
Oh, I'm sorry.
Super Bowl. Are you doing that on purpose?
No, I am not. I am not.
I thought he was too. I was like, it's getting a bit much now, Simon. I was like, I understand. I'm still gonna edit the show. I've done my fucking part. Like,
My bad. I repent. I repent.
guy, yeah,
Really,
really
wasn't on
rubbing it
purpose.
strong. Fuck.
They talked about the Super Bowl party where the 4 guys
really
froze
wasn't.
to death outside. And I think there's a lot going on there. With
I didn't hear about that.
A
There's
guy kicked people out of his party.
yeah.
They didn't leave. They just stayed outside and died in the cold. And I think he went to prison for it.
He called at the wrong time or something.
But it's crazy. There's something missing in that
Jesus.
story. I don't know.
I don't think it's anything crazy. It's just dumb guys. It's not like a conspiracy.
No, but it could have.
They didn't work for NASA.
NASA.
They talked about, interesting enough, the new warfare with drones and stuff, and that just what that PTSD. I don't know if they talk about that, but you see the things like so easily, and it's just different than when it was soldier on soldier killing each other.
Only there was a way to get prisoners to do it.
to push
prisoners
the
who-
button.
Yeah. Fly the drone. We'll knock 5 years
as a
off.
I
punishment.
don't think
you
you
have
want the
to-
prisoners flying the drone.
No. But
we don't
again,
want
of
it
course,
to
they
be
just sent
necessary
it
at
to the,
all.
what, to the prison.
So at the fire this morning,
Yeah.
there was a fire truck, drone flying over the fire truck, but attached to a cord. What do you think that was?
A tether all the way down
tether
to the ground.
to the fire truck.
I would say that's probably a power source, maybe.
What year do we live in that we don't have batteries that like
No,
that's-
no.
You don't
Batteries
think
are
that-
heavy.
It would be, and these drones, the cops and stuff are using the law are using are heavy.
Okay, fair enough. Well, it was attached to a tether.
I think
thought
they,
it was very
I think
odd.
they can go for 45 minutes or something.
Right, it had
Tops.
to. Okay, fine.
But why do you need it up there for more than 45 minutes?
If the
the fire
fire
can
takes
take
a long
hours.
time to put out,
You
yeah.
just bring it back down, put a new battery in,
No,
send the
that
fucking thing
again.
back up. Like that's
I
more
didn't
where
really understand the cord. That's why I was.
No, no.
asking.
Simon, I was
and
trying to
don't think
justify it. I don't
might
know.
not be power. It could be a more.
Maybe
direct
it's like a
live
direct
feed.
data link that doesn't.
It might have
fail,
it
but-
might have a hose on it. They might have been
No,
truck.
no.
How long were you there?
It wasn't over the fire.
Okay, fair enough.
The fire truck was on the street.
I understand,
So it
yeah.
was
They don't drive the truck into
20
the
feet
fire.
from the fire. This was above the fire truck, so
How long did you stay and watch the thing in the air? Is my
it
question.
was there for hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
The drone was
The
there
drone,
for
yeah.
hours. So interesting.
Yeah, I want to go see that. I'm so interested. He mentioned how the Toronto police yesterday or last week advised residents to leave their key fobs as close to the front door as possible.
Is that true?
It's true, so that people don't try to go too far into your house to find them.
Yeah, that's scary.
In
That's
Toronto last year,
ridiculous.
there was a car stolen every 40 minutes.
That's insane.
It's insane.
That's insane.
It's insane.
That's
It's
insane.
insane.
What's crazy though is they don't even. I've seen many in Toronto where they don't even need the fob. They just have. I saw one the
Yeah,
other
their
day
own-
where they have the fucking antenna. Just two black dudes. Sorry.
do
Yeah,
such a
they're just fucking sitting outside the house. Next thing you know, the
The
car's
ones
on.
I
and
saw
they're
with
gone.
hoods, I don't know what they were.
See, that's a problem when the answer your government gives you is not "we will protect you."
No,
more.
but be more
It's-
diligent.
No, that's what
Make
the
sure they
police
don't
are
get.
telling you. The government is telling you because we have really lax laws. These guys don't give a fuck.
I thought he was going to talk about immigration, but I'm kind of glad he went in that direction.
Phone, car, and you need a car when you start out comedy. And that really was the break for Joe. Is having that car and the cell phone. I think.
It's. I
Getting to
wonder
all-
if
getting to all those gigs.
Attell had heard him talk about that, or if that was like a genuine.
You're looking at me like I
Oh
listened.
fuck, he didn't listen.
It's so well.
They,
and he chooses not to address me as in the room.
Attell
So we're sort of in a pickle here.
Attell said. Yeah. Attell said.
Oh my god.
Attell said,
fucking hilarious.
you know, I always heard about you, Joe, from this guy, Rosenblatt or whatever, that he would get you gigs because you were the only guy who had a cell phone. So when somebody dropped out, he was able to reach you to fill
Yeah.
the spot. And Joe tells that story
Yeah.
all the time. So I was wondering if he had heard it or if it was like, because it was very like,
I forgot to
Kismet,
mention
you
Dave is
know?
also launching a special. Did they say what platform it was going to be on?
No, I don't
I
think
may have done this.
I thought it was on Netflix.
2.5, 3.
I think it says on the
Yeah.
thing it's on Netflix. I can look right now.
And of course, he talked about people come up and running up and telling his less than flattering jokes. I guess he sort of described it as like those titties are. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa.
yeah.
I really like Dave, and he's humble.
Why is Dave's comedy not, it's politically correct now? No.
It's a Netflix special called Hot Cross Buns.
Hot crossed buns.
I don't know. Maybe it's a case if you cannot say that today. Isn't it weird that 18 to 25 is the time to fuck around? Like that should be some sort of lifelong lesson.
Yeah. 25 to 35 is when you find out.
My friend, if you make the right decision.
That's really it.
Absolutely. My friend is trying to do a joke. It's just a rant right now, but how ridiculous it is that the government pays for ads to tell us they're spending our money wisely. Like,
Yeah,
just spend the
that's
money.
hilarious.
Don't do the ad. Like, what are we even doing here?
Where do you see that though?
Every time you see this is brought to you by the government of Canada. That's tax dollars, and it's a new initiative. Canadians are on the same page. Brought to you by the federal government of Canada. That's an ad to tell you that they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on or whatever. It's ridiculous.
I love the ones where they're like, we care about your mental health. And you're like, how much is a shrink? They're like, go find out your fucking self. You're like, what? Wait.
Actually, click here. We get 25 cents for every referral to BetterHelp.
Yeah.
But there should be a federal thing, 1825. This is your time to fuck up.
And by the way, healthcare won't cover
I said that. Yeah.
psychiatrists.
I know, I
They'll-
said
Or
that.
psychologists. They'll
Yeah.
only cover psychiatrists. So they don't give a fuck about your well-being.
They talked about that in this as well. Back to say the asylum thing, and you sort of think the stigma about it because we have the Royal Ottawa. I always mess it. Is the Royal Ottawa?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Royal Ottawa. It used to be called the mental hospital or whatever. I
The
guess it was.
Royal Ottawa Mental Health Facility or
It
something.
used to be something a little more derogatory or something, or maybe that was just a slang we'd call
I think
it.
that's just what we called it. It probably
loony
already
bin.
had a normal
But
name.
it's 2 blocks from my house, so if I walk down that street or even drive down,
They're always smoking out there.
but that could be someone visiting someone who's going through something.
No, a lot of them are in their scrubs. Or
Well,
in their
that you have a better chance to know
gowns,
it's mental
so-
illness, but there are other people there. But I assume they're all crazy, even if it's someone dealing with
Not
something.
everybody there is crazy. Some people are there because they're depressed. Some people are there. You know what I mean? It's
I
not all
don't-
like it's not all like loony bin people. There's
A lot of drug addicts in
No,
there too.
obviously,
That's
isn't.
where people go
Obviously
when they
isn't.
have mental things and all.
But is that something that we should? Well, we're not going to do it, but a loony bin recreated. Like almost, I remember the one who flew of the cuckoo's nest.
No, I don't think loony bins were a very good place.
Turned out those were bad. Or the
think-
one that's in 12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
That sort of idea.
What a great movie. Totally underrated movie.
Brad Pitt did it again.
Great movie. 12 Monkeys.
Time travel's always a nice loophole
They
for
did it.
movies
They
too.
did it well.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's always a nice way to. You can do whatever you want with time travel.
It was just a dream.
They did it well. It was really good.
I don't know if you noticed this along Lion. They just replaced, I think, like 8 light poles
Okay.
with wood, brand new wood.
Okay.
I think they're power lines. Like
Yeah.
they can't still be putting up phone lines, right?
I don't know.
And all that should now be underground, or is it because it has to be serviced?
Remember, I talked about this the other day, how each one of those poles all around the world is a giant tree.
Yeah, and these
those
are-
aren't particleized
Nope,
together.
nope,
They're
nope.
one solid tree.
Yeah.
So how come they haven't figured out a way to make like wood pulp into these poles? Or why aren't they using metal poles or plastic poles or whatever the fuck
because
rock
it-
poles?
I think it's the best conductor or non-conductor to be with
It
electricity.
really
or power.
seems like a shame to be killing all those trees.
But they put
That-
these.
wait, what, I don't understand. That's a renewable resource. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
When we cut a tree down, we usually plant one.
Well, it takes fucking 100 years to grow a tree that big.
But we're not shy on trees in this country. You realize that, right? That's not.
But
We have an abundance of trees.
Shouldn't these lines be like put underground? Because you know how they've
Well,
done.
I think they
in
do
Canada
when
now?
they dig up a street.
but that's fiber optic.
They usually
Power lines have to be
No,
above.
but Canada was before fiber.
when
optic
they do
existed.
like maintenance work, sewer work on a street where they have to tear up the street, they usually then will put the wires underground. It's just that wasn't possible back in the day when they put all the wires in. They didn't have the
Because that, of course, leads them to talk about the conspiracies in Hawaii. That, like for some
Hawaii.
reason, fire is blue. Fire is afraid of the color blue, or a
no,
particular
the lasers.
hue.
The lasers.
The
were
laser
afraid.
doesn't hit it, which is something you brought to us. I remember that.
Me? Yeah, I did bring it to you guys. Yes.
Ian had a funny story about getting drunk in a sober living house. Just didn't put 2 and 2 together. There must be some sick ass cowboy bars in Texas.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean? Just huge, like you imagine the biggest club you've seen or whatever, but just cowboy
Yeah.
out to the fucking cowboy with slots and
Honk-
girls in
honky-tonk bars.
cut off jeans and cowboy boots and just fucking.
on, I was-
Everybody's line dancing.
I was in Vegas for the rodeo. It was fucking mental. They were everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Like we went to this like southern casino that's like off the strip. Dude, I was so out of place. It was nuts.
Line dancing is a weird one, eh? Because it's super gay, but like the biggest, toughest cowboys do it.
Well, it's a way to get laid.
Yeah, I don't think it's super gay.
Are you kidding me? They're doing a choreographed dance routine. It's one of the gayest things ever.
It's gay.
It's pretty.
Sorry, I put it
You
back.
retract?
I put it back.
Yes, he does,
That was
yeah.
what ChatGPT said. I don't make decisions anymore. He said,
It's out of my hands.
line dancing is gay, it said.
Yeah, I think so.
Slot machines are also an indication of how close we are to being, Ready Player One, and
How so? I'm curious. They've been around forever.
and they prove that we can just be stimulated just sitting there, looking at a screen with random.
But how many? But what do you think is the percentage of the population that regularly plays slot machines? I'm curious. I don't know, nor do I have the numbers. But like, I know you like slot machines. I don't. So I don't think Simon does. So what I'm saying is, I think it's this. Like, I'm with you.
Yeah,
the people that it can get, it gets. But I think I'd like to know the percentages. I'm curious.
Absolutely would know. How about this? Humans are susceptible to just
100%.
being able to look at a screen.
I agree with
It's
that.
almost meaningless and just be like,
For money. We'll do a lot of things for money.
Well, that's true too.
We'll do almost anything for money.
But if there's
any boredom, any
if there's a way, say, to post stuff that you don't like or anything like that, just to get these emotions firing, because that's what it is, right? Just feeling. You feel more when you win money.
Money won is twice as sweet as money earned.
Gambling is not a gay thing either. It's hetero, right? You say you gamble,
I don't think gambling cares.
he's just making sure he's like, he
Yeah.
just fucking ruined line dancing for me. Is gambling okay?
He never made a thing of it, but Ian Finance is gay.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't get spreads and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, gambling's straight.
Well,
I think in
I'm sure gay people gamble.
I think
Ian-
in general, though, gay people aren't huge into sports. Like, I'm just saying that. I would assume that
You're
they're.
tiptoeing around to just somewhat agree with me.
Yeah, well, I'm saying if you don't watch sports, gambling is official. Like, not to say now you might be into table games. Like, there might be a gay guy. There might be a swath of gay people that love roulette or blackjack or slots, like you're saying. But as far as sports betting, I can understand why.
Ian Finance, I think, just in all fairness, is a bisexual.
Oh, sorry.
I think
Yeah,
he
you bigot piece of
swings both
shit.
ways. So just to retract that,
That he's bisexual.
you should addend that.
And sport betting is heterosexual.
Listen,
He's still not supposed to be doing
gambling
it.
makes everything better. Simon knows, like, dude, a fucking game against the Pelicans, against the Detroit Pistons that you don't care about. You throw $5 on that game, all of a sudden you're invested in something.
$5. You throw $40. on
There
that.
you go. Now you're really fucking. But you know what I mean? A
You
game
lose
you
by one, it's fucking a feeling.
By the way, Paul George, 0 steals and blocks. Oubre, 0
Yeah,
steals.
I'm
and
looking at it
blocks.
too. Well, hold on. You had Paul George on your own,
Yes, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
both
yeah,
of them.
yeah. Oh, I know.
0 steals and blocks.
but as you know, they come quick and they come often.
Hopefully,
you
they
think-
come in the fourth quarter.
Harden, how many Harden assists?
You have an eyelash, yeah, but you should make a wish.
You're still here.
Do you think, that-
You didn't blow it off your finger.
Oh,
It
is that?
doesn't work.
Oh, fuck.
just last thing, do you
ruined
guys
it.
think horse races are
Gay, yes.
days are numbered?
Yes, gay.
Like it's such an insulated thing because it's just the super wealthy. But they were talking about
whoa,
off-track
whoa, whoa, whoa,
betting.
whoa,
No,
whoa.
it's betting that keeps it
Hold
around.
on. You think
and-
horse racing is a super wealthy thing? I have some bad news for
No,
you,
no,
sir.
no. It's as unwealthy as it comes.
Yeah, that's poverty level gambling.
Sorry, the
No,
people
but
who
but
go
the
to the
Preakness fairs, the
yeah,
Kentucky Derby,
yeah.
all
That's
that.
not where they make their money.
No, but that is what's
Kamar, can I also explain something to you? Like, you're talking about the 3 most highfalutin on earth. When you go to a normal track, there's 2 levels. There's a level up top where they serve food, where rich people tend to
Rito, Carlton, Raceway.
Super
Need
hard
I
rock.
say
Super
more?
hard
be. You
rock.
go down to the bottom level, Kamar, and it is literally like level 4 of the Titanic. Like, I'm telling you,
And you think horse racing has just maintained its grip on gamblers?
Can
for
I tell you-
millennia?
can I tell you why?
I think it's lessened. I think it's lessened.
I have an answer for you too, and I know why. You can't take your kid to the casino.
You can take your kid to the horses.
Yes, you can.
Interesting.
And
That
and
is
I will
so
tell you, as
sad.
someone who worked there, many people, like single dads who have their kid on Tuesday, they're taking their kid to the track.
It seemed to me they were saying a lot of the off-track betting places had closed
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
And maybe people are betting on horses on their phones.
Yeah, it's not as big a deal
I don't think
as
it's
it used to
thriving.
be.
Thank you.
But I think that's because it all switched to your phone. I bet you there are more people now betting on horse racing
Yeah.
than ever before.
Yeah.
And there are less off-track betting sites because your phone exists.
I feel like it might seem almost barbaric. Maybe it's a carrying tradition.
I
that we
think
are
people
all
like
horse
going
people.
to those places the same way they like going to bars. It's a camaraderie thing, you know?
I also disagree, Kumar. I think
the bar is harder for them to lose their rent.
I think people look at horse racing as like those horses are treated so well. I think that's how most people see it, even though I know that's not the truth.
Lauded.
That's it. That's all you got.
Oh well, yeah. I
No,
mean,
that's perfect.
you
Perfect timing.
did not listen to it, so you so you will not rate it. But I mean, based on our discussion, it was
Based on our discussion.
it was 3.
It was fine. It was a 3.
Okay. And I didn't watch, so I can't.
Us two have an agreement.
Okay. We have an agreement. I haven't hit that button in fucking like a month. Just dawned on me. I don't think we've
And
agreed.
this was only a 2-man
yeah,
agreement.
so it's a forced agreement. Yeah.
It's it with an asterisk.
All right. Well, that is an episode. If you made it this far, that's incredible. Another marathon episode. I don't know how we do this or why. Maybe you're willing to go a step further. We have a Patreon. If you want to support the show, you can do so for as little as $5 a month. Head over to patreon.com/JREE podcast for that $5. You'll get a bunch of old shit we did. You'll get a new episode of the post show every Friday. And yeah, it helps us keep the lights on. That's it. Thank you so much to our sponsor, BetterHelp. And we hope you all have a great week. We hope you enjoy your weekend. And as usual,
Back in time. You gotta get back in time. Keep your eyes open.